Okay, guys, as I was telling you before, we are going to I'm going to ask some of you to help me reading these small sentences. And please, guys, try to help me completing the blank spaces we have right there. We have 4 sentences, 4 words missing. And we have some options that we can choose from who are next to the images. Okay, so we have 4 words here in the red chart. Telepathy, we have a coincidence, deja vu, and a UFO. Okay, so can you please help me reading and completing? Let me see. Erika, can you help me reading and completing number 1, please?
Teacher, ¿podría repetirme cuál tengo que leer?
Number 1.
Okay. When you see an unexplained object in the sky, you might be saying,
Which one of these would you choose? ¿Cuál de los 4 del recuadro rojo elegirías, Erika?
UFO.
Exactly. Yes, thank you. What we know as OVNI, objeto volador no identificado, in English is known as UFO, okay? Unidentified flying object. So when you see an explained object in the sky, you may be seeing an UFO. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Erica. Let's continue with the next number 2, this small guy over here. Can you please help me reading and completing Nancy, number 2? When you have a screen.
Good morning, teacher.
Good morning, Nancy.
When you have the strange feeling that you have been somewhere or experienced something before you are having. Sería
Ya utilizamos.
a condition.
We have telepathy, we have a coincidence, and we have deja vu.
Telepathy?
Okay. Thanks. When we have this strange feeling that we feel that we have been in that place or we have experienced that moment before, it's called a sensation. In this, a name sensation has a name in French. In this case, we're talking about the deja vu. Okay? When you feel like when you have done it before. Sí, hay veces que ustedes sienten que van a un lugar y dicen, yo ya he estado aquí, pero esto ya pasó, parece que estuve soñando. Sí, es entonces cuando ustedes ya saben exactamente lo que va a pasar, sí, ese fenómeno de sentirse como que ya han estado en ese lugar o ya han hecho ese tipo de cosas antes, se llama un déjà vu. ¿Ok? Thank you, Nancy. Let's continue with the next. Okay, let me just erase these options because we have used them. Now, can you help me with number 3, please, Digna?
Good morning, teacher.
Good
When
morning.
you can tell what someone else is thinking, you are experiencing is telepathy.
Exactly, thank you. Yes, when you can tell what someone else is thinking, you are experiencing telepathy. That's right. When you know what the other person is thinking, right? That's telepathy. Okay, and the last one we have is number 4. Can you help me, please, Lisbeth, help me reading number 4 and completing with the missing or
Good
the
morning, teacher.
morning.
When you unexpectedly run into someone you know, for example, in another city, you call it a coincidence?
Thank you. Coincidence. Exactly. When you unexpectedly run into someone you know, for example, in another city. For example, you say, how much possibility do I have to meet, let's say, a classmate from kindergarten in a city like Guayaquil, for example? That's a coincidence, right? So here we have some strange events, guys, some strange events. For example, watching a UFO, maybe experience a deja vu. When you have that feeling of maybe, hello everybody, did you hear me? Hi guys, can you hear me? Oh my God.
Yes, teacher, pero la pantalla no se ve.
Okay, don't worry, something happened with my Zoom. It just blocked for a moment, but now I'm back. Thank you guys for waiting. So I was telling you that these are some strange coincidences or strange events that maybe can happen to you, or maybe you have experienced once in your life. I have some questions about these things. Remember these strange events. We have telepathy, we have having some coincidences, maybe experiencing a deja vu, or maybe watching something unexplained in the sky, like seeing a UFO. Okay, so let me erase these and I'm going to ask you a few questions, guys. So pay attention to the next questions that are according to these images we have right here. Please, guys, can you tell me, have you experienced something like this? Or do you know anyone else who has? Have you ever experienced something like this? I mean, have you ever seen, or have you ever had a deja vu? Have you ever had a coincidence? What do you think about this, Alex? Have you ever experienced things like this? Strange events?
Mm, Teacher, el déjà vu, no creo que estuve, no le entiendo todavía.
Ok.
¿Cuál es el significado del déjà vu?
El significado del déjà vu es cuando ustedes, por ejemplo, Tú empiezas a caminar, ¿no? Digamos, por alguna calle de Quito. Y te viene con un sentimiento, una sensación rara y dices, yo ya estuve por aquí, yo ya caminé por aquí. Y luego y dices, creo que va a salir tal persona. ¿Sí? Porque, o sea, es una sensación como de haber estado en un sueño, de que ya has estado en ese lugar. Luego dices, creo que va a salir alguna persona o creo que alguien me va a llamar. Y ese tipo de cosas que tú tienes de esa sensación de que van a pasar, pasan, ¿sí? Y tienes esa, como un sentimiento de que ya viviste eso antes, o sea, como que estás repitiendo lo mismo. Ese es el déjà vu.
Entonces, teacher sería, yes, I always, my dreams, in my dreams, the visited place. em, ¿Qué más? Sí, teacher, o sea, algunos sueños he tenido que estoy visitando algunos lugares y después de algunos meses, ¡pum! Como que nuevamente digo, sí lo vi y en mis sueños.
Okay. So Alex has experienced déjà vu, especially when he when some troubles comes to his mind. Thank you. What about you? Let me see. What about you, Juan David? Can you tell me, have you ever experienced something like this? Have you had maybe telepathy or maybe a coincidence?
Yes, teacher, I have experienced some sensations like have already been in another time many times.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So we have some of these strange feelings, right? Or some strange events that may happen in our lives. For example, I know that, or I wonder if Maffer, have you have one of these feelings? Maybe have you ever experienced something like telepathy or a coincidence or maybe a deja vu?
Déjà vu, teacher.
Which one? Sorry, I couldn't hear. Can you repeat that, please, Maffer?
¿Sí se me escucha?
Yes.
Ah, déjà vu.
Okay, a deja vu. Have you ever experienced telepathy with someone like your sister? Maybe. No? Okay, so as I was telling you guys, these kind of feelings may happen or may appear in different situations in life. So, for example, some brothers or maybe some people who are very close to each other can experience this telepathy sensation, right? When they know what is the other person going to do or what is thinking. Um, this happens to mostly, as I was saying, people who is very close to each other. For example, in the case of brothers and sisters or maybe twins, they are more likely to experience this telepathy sensation. And finally, we have the coincidence. Okay, there are some things that maybe we think are coincidences, but maybe they are not, no? So we will talk about this topic during the lesson, guys. Okay, this is interesting. I'm reading Sabrina's intervention. Says I had several deja vu with my friends when I go out with them. I also have several coincidences with my sister without wanting to. We do nothing the same and we say things at the same time. Yes, that's something strange and something that maybe happens in the family when someone is talking and you complete the other's thoughts, right? And you talk at the same time and you say the same words. That can happen. And when we are talking about coincidences, yes, for example, what's the coincidence that you and maybe someone you don't like or you don't appreciate wear the same clothes as you do in a party, right? That's a coincidence. Sí, esa es una coincidencia. Cuando ustedes allá arreglan el outfit para una fiesta y justo la que les cae mal o el que les cae mal van vestidos igualitos. That's a coincidence, right? That's something that can happen. Es algo que puede pasar. So, we're also going to see something else, guys. So as you can see, this unit is, is thought of all these kind of strange events and superstitions and coincidences. So I'm going to share with you the screen and I want you guys to tell me what happens with these superstitions. Okay, here we have a superstition. Can you help me to complete or to choose the right option? A, B, C, or D? If a cat crosses the path with you, do you know what people say? ¿Qué suele decir la gente cuando se cruza un gato? Bueno, yo he escuchado esta superstición con los gatos negros. Have you heard this? If a cat or if a black cat crosses path with you, what happens?
So teacher, you will have bad luck.
Okay, this one, you will have bad luck.
Yeah, teacher.
Okay, let's see. Vamos a ver. Yes, you will have bad luck if a black cat crosses you. What happens if you break a mirror? A, B, or C?
Hey, teacher.
Okay, you will have 7 years of bad luck. Very good. Let's continue with the number 3. If a cat steps over a dead body, what happens? When a cat steps over a dead body, cuando un gato se posa sobre un cuerpo muerto, it will transform into a ghost and it will kill its family. The body will transform into an animal or nothing happens. What do you think? I haven't heard this superstition. Esta superstición sí no la había escuchado. Can you tell me, guys, what do you think that happens? A, B, or C?
Letter B, maybe.
Okay, let's see. Let's see if the cat transforms. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Transform into a cat that will kill all the family. That's terrible. Let's continue with number 4. A 4-leaf clover means. ¿Qué significa el trébol de 4 hojas? Good grades, a new phone, or luck?
Good
Letter
grades?
B.
Lucky.
Mhm.
B.
Letter B. Good luck, right? Cuando se encuentran un trébol de 4 hojas, a four-leaf clover, significa que van a tener buena suerte, right? Okay, guys, excellent job. Excellent job. The only one we didn't know was the cat over the dead body, but we always learn something new. Okay, that was good to know. So as you can see now, we're going to, or this lesson, we're going to talk about these strange things and strange events. So let me share with you again the screen of the presentation. And today, I want you to read the following sentence. Can you please help me reading this sentence? Let me see. Mauri, que ha madrugado. Mauri, can you please help me reading this sentence?
Okay, teacher. Teacher, yo siempre madrugo. She has played soccer since she was in kindergarten.
Thank you, Mauri. She has played soccer since she was in kindergarten. Can you guess in which tense is written this sentence? ¿En qué tiempo verbal está esta oración? She has played. Can you remember the tense?
Pasado, teacher.
Okay, is a kind of past, but
Ay, ¿cómo era?
Pasado
Perdón.
participio,
Past
teacher.
participle.
Ajá.
el verbo está en past participle. Okay, wait. Participle. It's just the verb. Okay, this is the verb, is in past participle. And here you have an auxiliar. Which one is the auxiliar? Tenemos aquí un auxiliar. ¿Mafe? ¿Cuál es el
Has.
auxiliar? Yes, has. Has or have, right? The auxiliary is has or have. Can you please, guys, try to remember what's the name of this kind of tense? ¿Cuál era el nombre de este tiempo? Un tiempo que utiliza como auxiliar has o have y el siguiente verbo en pasado participio. Try to remember the name. Les doy una pista, no tiene el nombre de presente, de pasado.
Present perfect.
Exactly. A pesar de que el verbo está en pasado, ¿sí? El nombre de este tiempo no lleva el nombre de pasado, sino se llama un present perfect. It's a present perfect tense. Remember that in these tenses, we tend to use all the verbs in past participle. ¿Sí? Todos los tiempos perfectos. Una de las condiciones de los tiempos perfectos es pues tener un auxiliar, ya sea a have or has, y también el verbo en pasado participio. That would be a present perfect tense. Now, can you please help me reading the next sentence, please? Let's see. Galito. I don't know if Galito has arranged his microphone. Let me see. Can you help me reading the next sentence, please, Vicky? This one.
Okay, teacher, good morning.
Morning. Oops, sorry.
She had played soccer in the backyard uh, of teacher of before it started to rain.
Before it started to rain. Exactly. So we have that she had played soccer in the backyard before it started to rain. Sí, empezó, ella estaba jugando fútbol antes de que empezara a llover. Okay, so let me move this so you don't get confused. Now, can you guess what's the name of this tense? What's the name of this tense? Check this out. How do you think it's the name of this tense?
Is a past perfect?
Exactly. This time we are naming this tense as past perfect tense. Past perfect tense. The only thing that it's going to change this time is how the auxiliary is conjugated, okay? In this case, look at this. The auxiliary have or has been changed into the past form. So it's had, right? The auxiliary is in past. So let me write it over here as well. Auxiliary in past. And we have, or we continue with the same structure of a verb in past participle as well. Okay, so the other verb is going to be in past participle as well. Okay, guys. So once that you have recognized this, we're going to see when are we going to use this past perfect tense. You're going to see the difference between the other past tenses as well. So now we have recognized the tense of each of these sentences. Now, let me erase this so you can see what happened first, okay? This is a good question that we can make ourselves when we are trying to see if we can use or can't use this past perfect. For example, here we have a sentence. Here we have a short sentence. She had cleaned the room when I got home yesterday. If we read it until this part, we will have the first sentence. Okay? Up to room, we have our first sentence. Then we have a second sentence. Okay? This is like the second part of the whole sentence. Now, can you tell me, guys, what happened first? ¿Cuál de las dos oraciones pasó primero? She had cleaned the room when I got home yesterday. What happened first?
Teacher, she had cleaned in the room, number one.
Perfect, Alex. So the first thing or the first activity that happened was that she cleaned the room. Sí, eso sucedió en primer lugar. Ella había limpiado el cuarto, ¿sí? Es decir, que ya cuando el señor llegó, el cuarto estaba limpiecito. When I got home yesterday. Cuando llegué a la casa ayer, dice. Entonces, llegar a la casa es algo o una acción que pasó después de esta de She had cleaned the room. No, ella había limpiado. Okay, guys, so as you can see, this past perfect tense, it's going to be very useful to know what action happened first. ¿Sí? Este pasado perfecto lo vamos a utilizar en concordancia con otros tiempos pasados. Puede ser el pasado simple, el pasado continuo, pero siempre nos va a indicar cuál fue la actividad que sucedió primero. ¿Sí? That's one of the main uses of this past perfect tense. Let's see the next page. Okay, as I was telling you just some seconds ago, this past perfect tense is used mainly when we want to talk about actions that happened previously than others. Okay, in the past. So, in Spanish, this tense has the equivalence to the tense that we hear when people say había cantado o habías cantado o habías estado. Sí, esa es la traducción. A ese contexto gramatical es al que equivale este past perfect. Sí, había estudiado, había es algo que pasó en el pasado. Here we have, look at these two examples. Why couldn't you get in the car? ¿Sí? ¿Por qué no pudiste entrar al carro? Why couldn't you get in the car? Because I had left the keys inside. Porque me había olvidado la llave adentro. I had left. Okay, so this is, or here we have just a clear example of this. Let's continue with the next. Look at this. The form or the structure to make this past perfect tense was the one that we were seeing previously. I mean, we're going to use the auxiliary had in past plus the verb in past participle. Okay, that's the, we can say, kind of the structure. So here also we have a short example. Can you help me reading this short example, please, Brian? When we.
Un ejemplo de pasado perfecto.
No, just help me read one.
Reading, when we reached the school, the bell had already rung. The ringing of the bell happened first.
Exactly. Thank you, Brian. So here we have, when we reach school, cuando llegamos de la escuela, the bell had already rung. Sí, la campana ya había sonado. What happened first then? Entonces, ¿qué ocurrió primero? We reached the school or the bell had already rung?
The bell had already run, teacher.
The bell had already rung, right? Primero había sonado ya la campana y luego llegaron los niños a la escuela. Okay. Thank you, guys. Let's see some other uses of this past perfect tense. Here we have some of the structures. Sí, aquí tenemos la estructura por si es que a alguno de ustedes se les olvida cómo escribir o cómo componer oraciones con past perfect. Tenemos aquí una pequeña ayuda que es la estructura, ¿no? En este caso tenemos que va a utilizar el auxiliar had más el verbo en pasado participio. Cuando nosotros queremos hacer la oración negativa, es decir, queremos decir no había, ¿sí? No había comido Sorry guys, or maybe no había leído, no? I haven't read that book. We're going to use the particle not with the auxiliary had, ¿sí? Cuando ustedes quieren hacerle negativa, únicamente van a añadir el not al auxiliar, en este caso had, pudiendo utilizar la forma separada, es decir, had not, o la contracción, que en este caso sería hadn't. ¿Sí? Esa sería la contracción de had not. They hadn't eaten anything yet. No han comido nada todavía. No habían comido nada todavía. ¿Ok? And when we want to ask, ¿sí? Y si ustedes quisieran preguntar, lo único que vamos a cambiar es el sujeto, la posición del sujeto. ¿Sí? El sujeto ya no estaría primero, sino después del auxiliar. Look at this. We have first the auxiliar had, then we have the subject, and finally we have the verb in past participle, and a short complement could be. Sí, y un complemento también puede ser. Esa es como una estructura un poco básica de cómo utilizar el past perfect tense. Don't forget this, guys. Can you help me now that we have been seeing these structures? Help me, guys, writing a sentence using this had or had not. ¿Sí? Ayúdenme escribiendo una oración en el chat de Zoom utilizando past perfect. ¿Sí? Cualquier oración utilizando past perfect tense. You can use this chart so you won't get lost when you are writing the sentence. Vamos, una oración en pasado perfecto. Ella había estudiado mucho para su examen de matemáticas. Let me see. Alex had an example too. I haven't played soccer on Monday. Okay, good. David says they had walked for hours before they entered to the stadium. Excellent. Yes. Ellos habían caminado por horas antes de entrar al estadio. Exacto.
Teacher,
Tell me, Alex.
si puede ser contracción, ¿no es cierto? I had.
Exactly. I hadn't played.
Yeah, teacher.
Yes, you can use also the contraction. It doesn't matter. Okay, I hadn't arrived yet at the university. Okay, no había llegado aún a la universidad, exactly. I had been tired of walk in the morning. I still hadn't left the house when I left the bus. Okay. Brian, I had been tired. Yo había estado cansado de caminar en la mañana, okay. Galito, I still hadn't left the house when I left the bus, okay. No había llegado a la casa cuando dejé el bus. Could be, okay. The children hadn't done their homework, so they were in problems. Exactly, they were in problems. Very good. And I have another one. I had visited my best friend to invite her to lunch. Exactly. Maffer, remember that it needs to be in past. No te olvides que estamos hablando del pasado perfecto.
Si
Exacto.
te quieres que esté claro.
Sí, ahí
Perdón.
veo el hat. Thank you. So, well done, guys. You have an idea of how to make the sentences using this past perfect tense. So we can move to the uses, right? When do we use this past perfect? Well, it's mostly used when you want to express that an action happened previously, as I was telling you. ¿Sí? Casi siempre se utiliza para hablar del pasado, de cuando una acción ocurrió antes que otra acción en el pasado. ¿Sí? For example, we have Dianita, we have lived in this house for over 5 years. No te olvides que el verbo have es el que va a ir al pasado, va a cambiar al pasado, ¿no? En ese caso nos quedaría we have lived. Exactly. Thank you. So, in this case, guys, I was telling you that we are going to use this past perfect when we talk about activities or actions that happened previously in the past. Es decir, pasaron o sucedieron estas acciones en el pasado, con anterioridad. ¿Sí? For example, we have, so when you go to the party, así que cuando llegaste a la fiesta, I realized I had forgotten the gift. ¿Sí? Cuando había llegado a la fiesta, es algo del pasado, dice, I realized I got forgotten the gift. Me di cuenta que me había olvidado del regalo. ¿Qué sucedió primero? ¿Llegó a la fiesta o se olvidó del regalo? She got to the party or she got forgotten the gift.
Go to the party.
Se olvidó el regalo.
Primero se olvidó el regalo, ¿no? Luego llegó a la fiesta. So don't forget that this tense is to talk about something that happened previously.
No sería al revés. O sea, se fue a la fiesta porque todavía no pensaba en el regalo. Ya estando en la fiesta, se acordó del regalo. Y se
Okay,
acordó que se
yes, that's a
olvidó.
good point.
Entonces, ahí es como se pone tengo. Si no, no hubiese ido. Primero, entonces, si me acordaba antes de ir a la fiesta, hubiese ido a comprar. Y ahí hubiese ido.
Exactly, yes, that's a good point. Then in this case, we're just talking about something that happened in the past, right? En este caso estamos hablando únicamente de una acción que ocurrió en el pasado, algo que ya pasó, ¿no? O sea, se llegó y ya se olvidó el regalo, se olvidó el regalo, como dice Alex. O sea, si se hubiese acordado del regalo, lo habría comprado. That's right. Thank you. This one is the one that we were talking. Sí, esta es justo la que decíamos, ¿no? De algo que pasó primero en el pasado. Look at this. Here we have the snow had already melted by the day. En este caso nos referimos a una acción, an action that happened in the past or that happened previously to an specific time in the past. Sí, algo que ocurrió en un momento específico, en un momento concreto del pasado. Por ejemplo, aquí hablamos de un momento específico, concreto del pasado, podría ser midday, ¿sí? Al mediodía, es algo concreto. O también tenemos el that day, ¿sí? Que serían como puntos concretos. Ese día, ¿sí? O el mediodía, ¿sí? Y aquí tenemos acciones que han sucedido antes de ese punto o de ese tiempo, ¿no? The snow had already melted by midnight. Midday. Es decir, que la nieve ya se había derretido o se había derretido para el mediodía. Es decir, que antes de llegar al mediodía, toda la nieve ya estaba derretida. And then we have, he had never seen the sea before that day. Él no había visto el mar hasta ese día. ¿Sí? Entonces, todo lo que pasa después de ese día ya cambia, ¿no? Ya después de ese día, él ya ha visto por primera vez el mar. Sí, pero antes de ese día, él no había visto o no había conocido el mar. So, when you have this specific time, you try to write the sentence using past perfect. Let's continue with the next, guys. Here we have hacer referencia or to talk about an action that started in a concrete point in the past and continued until the moment with this action finished. What does it mean? This sounds like a tongue twister, right? Suena como un trabalenguas, pero este past perfect lo utilizamos cuando una acción empezó en algún momento específico del pasado y continúa hasta hace poco, ¿sí? Que fue el tiempo en el que finalizó. ¿A qué me refiero? For example, here we have, Paul sold his car last month because it was old. Sí, Paul vendió su carro el mes pasado porque estaba muy viejito, ¿no? He sold his car because it was old. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Cuál es la otra contraparte? He had it for nearly 20 years. ¿Pueden estar dos had en la oración? Sí pueden. El uno actúa como auxiliar y el otro sería el pasado del verbo have. ¿Sí? Como es en este caso. Yes, he had it for nearly 20 years. Él lo había tenido por casi 20 años. Sí, 20 años. That would be this case. ¿Sí? Hacemos referencia a una acción que empezó en un punto del pasado y, bueno, pues claro, Paul compró en algún momento del pasado, hace 20 años, compró su carro, ¿no es cierto? Esa es una acción que empezó en el pasado y que continuó porque él siguió teniendo su carrito hasta el momento pasado donde finalizó. ¿Sí? Nos referimos, he had it for nearly 20 years. Sí, tal vez hace unos pocos minutos, que ya es tiempo pasado, alguien más le compró su auto. Entonces, ya se convierte en un momento del pasado cuando ya finaliza nuestra acción. ¿Le vendió? So, yes, he had it, this car for nearly 20 years. Let's continue. That would be the main uses, for this past perfect tense. And also, one of the uses and the one that is perfect for us in this unit is this one, guys. La razón principal o el uso principal que le vamos a dar en este caso al past perfect tense en esta unidad va a ser este. When you want to talk about a real or imaginary things or wishes in the past. Sí, en esta unidad el enfoque principal de este past perfect tense va a ser el de utilizarlo para hablar de cosas que no son reales, que son imaginarias o deseos en el pasado. ¿Sí? Con a real or imaginary, we can say, for example, watching a UFO, or maybe, I don't know, something imaginary. A coincidence maybe that can happen, or maybe some superstitions you have in your family or in your country. Sí, en esos casos los vamos a ocupar el pasado perfecto. Cuando hablamos de situaciones irreales, imaginarias, deseos, cosas que han pasado en el pasado. ¿Ok? Valga la redundancia. So, let's see if you got it. Vamos a ver cómo les va. ¿Cómo nos quedarían estas 6 oraciones utilizando el past perfect tense? Can you help me with number 1, please? Dianita, the fire. ¿Cómo nos quedaría esta?
A ver, teacher, sería the fire has.
En el pasado. Aquí past perfect. ¿Cómo sería ese auxiliar en el pasado?
Had. Had o had.
Had con D. Oops, sorry.
Ya. Already reached.
Perfect, Dianita. Yes, the fire had already reached the roof by the time the firemen arrived. Sí, el fuego ya había alcanzado el techo cuando llegaron los bomberos. Okay, thank you. Let's continue with number 2. Can you help me completing number 2, please? Sabrina. Joe Smith.
Hi, teacher.
Okay, tell me.
Yeah. Joy Smith went to prison because he had
He had
still a lot of
verbo
money.
irregular. Verbo irregular. ¿Cómo quedaría?
Stole.
Nos falta todavía.
Stolen.
Stolen, exactly. En este tiempo sí es importantísimo conocer los verbos irregulares, ¿no? Joe Smith went to prison because he had stolen a lot of money. Este señor, Joe Smith, fue a la prisión porque había robado mucho dinero. Okay? Let's move to number 3, guys. Helen went to the bath after she
Had watched.
Exactly. Perfect. Thank you. So the possibility here is had watch, right? Had. How would it be number 4? My father bought the new car after he
Had tried.
Exactly. Had tried. Mi papá compró el nuevo carro después de que había intentado o le había manejado, le había probado un par de veces. Let's move to number 5. By the time Sonia got to the party, everyone ¿sí?
Have begun.
Had been.
Es have begun, teacher, pero ¿cómo se pronuncia?
Vegan.
Eso.
Yes, had begun.
haya begun.
Begin. Yes. By the time Sonia had got to the party, everyone had begun dancing. Sí, a la hora que llegó Sonia a la fiesta, todo el mundo ya estaba, ya había iniciado el baile, no había empezado a bailar. Let's move to the last one. Lorenzo.
Had eaten.
Had eaten, exactly. Had eaten. So this would be the last exercise of this past perfect tense. It's not so difficult as it seems, you know. I think it's not so complicated at all. We just need to know well the past participle of irregular verbs. That's going to be a good point. Sí, gran parte del puntaje pues se lleva el conocer el pasado de los, pasado participio sobre todo, de los verbos irregulares especialmente. Okay, guys. Now I'm going to show you a short video about this past perfect tense, just for you to watch it in case you have any doubt, okay? I'm going to share with you the screen so you can see it as well. Okay. Let me see. Yes. You have the video on your screen. Let me share the sound. Pay attention, guys, to the next video.
Is used to describe an action that happened before an action in the simple past. The formula is subject plus had plus past participle. We can use the past perfect to tell us which event happened first. For example, if we add the word had to this sentence, Peter had moved to Paris, we know that this action happened first. But if we put had in the other sentence, Mary had found a job in Paris, now this action happened first. Here's an example. He failed his test because he hadn't studied. Here we use the past perfect tense to describe the first action and the past tense to describe the second action. Another example. She had not seen snow until she visited Canada. Again, we use the past perfect to describe the first action and the past simple to describe the second action. Using the past perfect can change the meaning of a sentence. Let's compare the two sentences. When he arrived, the train left, versus when he arrived, the train had left. In the first sentence, when he arrived, the train left, this means he arrived and the train left immediately after. But if we say when he arrived, the train had left, this means that the train left first and then he arrived. So he missed the train. In addition, the past perfect can be used to express a past wish or a regret. For example, he wishes he hadn't drunk so much last night. The past perfect is also used in reported speech and the third conditional. We'll review this in another lesson.
Okay, guys. So here we have some a very short explanation about this past perfect tense, okay? Now we're going to continue, or I'm going to pass to the book, okay? But before we move to the book, I think I'm going to share with you the screen, okay? So we're going to move, you at home can move to page 54 of your book. And here we're going to see some coincidence. Have you ever experienced an amazing coincidence? Okay, so let me share with you the screen so you can see it as well, and you can help me reading these two short paragraphs we have right here. Okay, can you see the screen? I think you do, right? So guys, here we have a short reading about coincidences. Here it says, have you ever experienced an amazing coincidence? ¿Sí? ¿Les ha pasado o han experimentado alguna coincidencia asombrosa? We're going to see. So here we have, let me make it a little bit more big so you can read without any problems. Okay. We have these two guys, Emma and Glenn, and they are talking about their experience with the coincidences. Okay, so can you help me reading the first paragraph, please?
Teacher, ¿me escucha?
Yes, Galito.
¿Puedo?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think life is full of coincidence. I remember one time I had just met my husband to be and with hands. He knew each other long. Well, he was showing my photos of an old friend that he hadn't seen or spoken to in years. A college friend who'd moved to Spain. Gary, anywhere there we were, looking at these photos, when the phone rang, and you'll never believe it, it was his friend Gary. He just called it out of the blue.
Exactly. He just called out of the blue. Here we have the perfect example of a coincidence. Look at this. This lady is saying, Emma is saying that she and her husband, they were showing some photos. Okay, he was showing me some photos of an old friend he hadn't seen or spoken in years. This is something important. He hadn't seen or spoken this friend in years. Okay, and now here we have, anyway, they were looking at these photos when the phone rang. Exactly when you are watching these pictures, the phone rang, and it was his friend, the one he hasn't or she hasn't seen for years. Sí, es muy extraño que uno esté viendo, por ejemplo, las fotos de alguien y justo ese rato esa persona llama, ¿no es cierto? Una persona con la que no hemos hablado en muchos años, inesperadamente aparece, ¿no? Como que le hemos llamado con la mente. Esa sería una coincidence. So here we have a phrase, he just called out of the blue. Sí, esta última frase, he just called out of the blue, means inesperadamente. Él llamó inesperadamente. Eso quiere decir called out of the blue. Let me write it over here. Okay. So he just called out of the blue. Llamó inesperadamente. Su llamada no estaba prevista y pasó. Okay, here we have an example of a coincidence. Let's read the second paragraph. Thank you so much, Galito, for helping me with the first. Let's move to the second one. The second paragraph we have right here about Glenn. Can you help me reading, please, Lily? Actually, yeah. Okay, maybe Lily is having some problems with internet and light connections as I was reading. Please, can you help me reading this second paragraph, please, Jenny?
Yeah, teacher. Actually, yeah. One thing that sticks in my mind is years ago, I was out in the Australian outback driving through the desert. One night I had set up camp and was cooking, and this van appeared out of nowhere with two guys in it. It was nice to have company because I hadn't spoken to anyone in days. I'd gone out this drive by myself, you see. Well, it turned out one of 10 had graduated from the same college I did. A small word, how?
Yes, so here we have some new words, maybe. We have actually, yeah. One thing that sticks in my mind is years ago, I was out in the Australian outback. Sí, este outback significa en el interior, como cuando uno se adentra hacia algún lugar, ¿no? Ese sería como la traducción. O al campo. Let's say campo mejor. Okay. This verb over here, do you know what's the meaning of sticks? One thing that sticks in my hand, it sticks in my mind is years ago, algo que se me ha clavado, ¿no? Algo que se me clavó en la cabeza, que permanece ahí en la cabeza. We can say clavar o pegar. Una cosa que se me quedó clavada en la cabeza o que se me quedó pegada en la cabeza, algo que permanece, ¿no? En la cabeza, years ago was out in the Australian outback, driving through the desert. Sí, él estaba en el campo australiano, manejando en el desierto. One night, I had set up camp and was cooking when this van appeared out of nowhere with two guys in it. Sí, dice que él estaba solo, hizo su campamento, se puso a cocinar y llegó una buceta de la nada, ¿no? A van appeared out of nowhere. Apareció de la nada con dos sujetos, dice. It was nice to have company because I hadn't spoken to anyone in days. Fue bueno tener compañía porque no tenía o no había estado con nadie en muchos días. Okay, I'd gone on this trip by myself, you see. Me fui en este viaje. I had gone. Esta es una posibilidad que les puede pasar, chicos. No se asusten si encuentran esta contracción. Apóstrofe de y el siguiente verbo en pasado participio. Esta sería una forma corta de decir I had gone. ¿sí? I'd gone on this trip by myself. Me fui en este viaje yo solo por mi cuenta. Well, it turned out one of them, ¿sí? Resulta ser que uno de los hombres que llegó had graduated from the same college I did. Resulta que uno de estos dos hombres se había graduado en el mismo colegio que este chico. Y aquí nos dice, a small world, ¿huh? ¿No es cierto? El mundo es muy pequeño, ¿verdad? So here we have two kinds of coincidences. The first one, thinking about someone and that person calls, and the other one is meeting someone and maybe have something in common. In this case, he had been graduated from the same school. Sí, lo que tenían en común y era una coincidencia fue que los dos se hayan graduado del mismo colegio, ¿verdad? So, thank you guys for helping me reading these short coincidences here in the book. But now it's the turn for you to help me with another activity. As we read some specific things about these coincidences, you are now going to help me to write your own coincidences, okay? So, how is this going to be about, or how is this going to be? Let me share the screen with you. You are going to enter to the next link, guys. I'm going to share with you a link. But first, let me share with you the screen. Okay, there you go. You should be seeing on the screen and says, let me just copy this and send it to you. What kinds of coincidences happen to people or happen to you? ¿Qué tipo de coincidencias suele suceder con la gente? ¿Qué tipo de coincidencias pasan? ¿O qué tipo de coincidencias les han pasado a ustedes? ¿Sí? ¿Qué les ha pasado a ustedes? You're going to write your experience. Enter to the link you got. Si les envié el link al chat de Zoom. Van a ingresar, van a poner su nombre. Sí, y me van a ayudar escribiendo en esta barra que dice Share Thoughts and Ideas, ¿ok? Justo en esta barra van a ir ustedes ingresando ya sus comentarios. What kind of coincidences happen to people? ¿Qué coincidencias le pasa a la gente? For example, let's see. It can be a coincidence, yes.
Una pregunta.
Sure.
Teacher, yo estoy desde el teléfono y no me aparece la barrita.
Déjame tratar desde el teléfono. Voy a intentar abrir desde
Ya, teacher. O me avisa cómo hay que hacerle porque como estoy desde el teléfono no me sale la barrita.
Teacher, estoy desde la computadora, pero no me aparece.
Okay, let me see. Vamos a ver. Give me a second. Si no les aparece la barrita, voy a abrir en una nueva pestaña para ver cómo les va a ustedes. Vamos a ver. Okay, maybe you have this one, right? Les aparece así. Exacto. Déjenme darles entonces. Okay, let me see.
Teacher. Creo que toca poner en la esquina de arriba que dice Learn More. Y ahí sale para poner un código. Me imagino que es el que sale también en su pantalla.
Sí. Tienes toda la razón. Vamos a ver. Learn more. Debería ya abrírseles con el código, con el que les mandé, pero yes, mine is opening. A mí se me abre ya mi cuenta, claro. Let's do what Maffer says. And please, guys, click on learn more in the blue button that says learn more so you can open the link. Una vez que abren en learn more, ¿se les abre tal vez ya?
No, teacher, sale
Nos
para
pide
el
un código,
código.
los que somos estudiantes nos piden
Exacto,
un
sí,
No,
sí, sí.
teacher.
Ya les
Ajá.
voy a dar el código, les doy el código. El código es este, chicos. Pueden ver en la pantalla el código, por favor. Está en mayúsculas todas, ¿no? FKNBL. Could you enter, guys? Envío el código al chat de Zoom, ¿ya? Just in case.
Ahí sí, teacher.
Okay, great. What we're going to do, guys, is to please, can you write the kind of coincidences that you have experienced? ¿Qué coincidencias les ha pasado? ¿Qué tipo de coincidencias le pasa a la gente? Okay, yes, I can see two of you writing. Thank you. Let's say, for example, that you dream that someone you know is pregnant, and the next time you see it, your dream came true. Right? That could be a coincidence. When, for example, you dream, that happened to me once, I dreamed that one of my best friends was pregnant, and I was chatting with her. We were talking, and I told her, I had a dream that you were pregnant, where you were pregnant. And she said, yes, I am. So that's a coincidence, right? Ese es un tipo de coincidencia. Por ejemplo, yo soñé que una de mis mejores amigas estaba embarazada. Cuando conversé con ella, le conté de mi sueño y me dijo, sí, recién me hice la prueba, estoy embarazada. That's a coincidence, sería una coincidencia, ¿no? But there are some others, there are a lot of coincidences. Hay un montón de coincidencias. For example, a coincidence could be that maybe you travel far, far away and you get in the same plane, for example, with someone you know, or someone from the same university, your same class, or something like that. Sí, a veces pasa que uno se va a un lugar y dice, uy, aquí de ley nadie me ve, no, nadie me encuentra, y pum, se encuentran con alguien del mismo barrio, de la misma cuadra, ¿sí? ¿No? Entonces, Those are kind of coincidences. Okay. That could be something strange that happens to us, right, Vicky? Vicky dice, when you say, I know him, but I don't know where. You don't remember where do you know that person specifically. Yes, that's a weird feeling. ¿No es cierto? Es un sentimiento extraño cuando decimos, yo le he visto, yo le conozco de algún lado, pero no sé de dónde. Yes. Okay, Lisbeth. A coincidence could be to wear the same dress to a party, to an important party could be. Exactly. Hey, that's a good one, yes. I have here, Cassandra said, I met my old friend again on a vacation course. Yes. Encontrarse nuevamente con alguien que uno no ha visto en mucho, mucho tiempo también puede ser una coincidencia. Yes. Here we have to think that the goalkeeper stopped the penalty, but the ball had already entered. That could be something like wishing something, Alex. Ajá. Es como desear algo, ¿no? Con mucho. Pensar que va a suceder algo, pero ya no pasa, ¿no? One day I coincided on a trip to the beach with my best friend. She had traveled with her family and I with mine. We met at the same hotel. Yes, that's a coincidence, right? Cuando no se avisan que van a viajar a algún lugar y ¡pum! En la playa se encuentran con todo el mundo. Exactly. At that time, I missed my father a lot. I dreamed that he had come to visit. Yes. 2 days later, he called me and was here. That's nice. So you call him with your dream. Yes, this happens now. When you don't tell anybody how are you going to be dressed for a party and it turns out that somebody else is wearing the same clothes as you do. That's a coincidence, yes, Dianita. It may be a coincidence that I go to the movies and I always find a friend in the movie theater. Yes. Okay, yes, a coincidence is to meet an acquaintance in another country. Yes. Or a coincidence is that I have had in recent days. I was in my work area and my boss was solving a problem. It was great coincidence to think of the same solution and say it at the same time. Excellent, David. That's an excellent coincidence. That's a good example of coincidence. To think about how to solve a problem the same way as your boss, and you did it or you say it at the same time. Very good. I had here the one from Jenny. I had gone out to a cheerleader presentation and my mom.
Teacher, está mal completada porque se me fue el enter de mandar y se fue.
Yes,
Ahorita
I
ya la
can
terminé.
see. Okay. Completing this part, okay? Help me completing this. Complete the answers. Use the anecdotes above to help you. So we're going to use the anecdotes of Emma and Glenn to complete these 4 sentences. The first one says, what did Emma find out about Gary? Can you find the answer of this question, please? In the reading we have in the book. In this reading. Help me with the answer, guys. What did Emma find out about Gary? Maybe Alien Drango, can you help me with this one, number 3? Why was Glenn alone?
Ya, a ver. Because he y el verbo al teacher tendríamos que nosotros aumentarle.
De acuerdo a la lectura de arriba, por favor ayúdame a encontrar la respuesta. Okay, exactly, because he hadn't spoken. Very good. He hadn't spoken to anyone in days. Él estaba feliz de tener compañía porque no había hablado con nadie en días. He hadn't spoken to anyone in days. Exactly. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for helping me completing this part. Now, I already explained you a lot about this past perfect tense. So I think we are ready to complete these 3 short conversations using this past perfect tense, okay? So I'm going to ask to some of you to help me completing this, okay? Let's go to the first one. Let's start with the first one. Vamos a empezar con el primero. Me van a ayudar a ir completando con el pasado perfecto. ¿Cómo nos quedaría? Can you help me please with number 1? Let me see. Eric. Can you please, guys, help me completing the first one? Have you ever been talking about someone and then they got in touch with you? Yeah. In fact, last week I was talking about a friend who ¿Cómo completaríamos esta parte?
I hadn't spoken.
Exactly, as the last one, right? I hadn't spoken. Very good. To in a long time. I think he. ¿Cómo le cambiamos el past perfect?
He had changed.
He had changed. Okay. His cell phone, había cambiado su teléfono. And he
hadn't given.
Very good. He hadn't given. No se olviden que en este caso tenemos que utilizar el verbo en pasado participio. He hadn't given me the number. Very good. Let's move to the next one. Anyway,
he had texted.
Text me, yes. Anyway, he had texted me out of the blue because de todas maneras él me escribió inesperadamente porque
He had run it into teacher.
Yes. He had run. Mucho ojo con este verbo, ¿no? El verbo run, correr. Es un verbo irregular, sí, que se escribe igual en las tres formas, pero que la pronunciación varía un poco. He had run into my brother at a restaurant. Okay. And they were talking about me. Este run into, sí, el run into no significa correr, ¿no? Así como correr una carrera. Más bien este run into tiene el significado de como chocarse o encontrarse con alguien. En este caso dice, he texted me out of the blue. Sí, me escribió inesperadamente o de la nada. Because he had run into my brother at a restaurant. Porque se había encontrado con mi hermano en un restaurante. And they were talking about me. So, ¿cómo completaríamos esta? He
had decided.
Exactly, ladies. He decided to get in touch. Él decidió contactarme. Él había decidido contactarme. It, how would it be?
Had been.
Exactly, had been. Perfect. It had been great to hear from him. Fue genial o había sido genial oír de él nuevamente, ¿no? It had been great. Thank you. Now, will you help me with the second part, please? How would it be? I experienced another coincidence recently. I
Had gone.
Perfect. Thank you. I had gone to the post office because we
had gotten.
Okay. We had gotten. Very good. Habíamos recibido el mail de alguien más, ¿no? It. How would it be this part?
It had happened.
Este es un verbo regular, entonces solo añadimos de. It had happened before 3 or 4 times. So anyway, I was waiting in the line and I
had started.
Exactly. I had started talking to the guy y había empezado a hablarle a este señor who
had came.
Who had
come.
Came. Let me see. Me hicieron dudar del verbo come.
No se mantiene igual, teacher.
Yes,
Sí, teacher, se mantiene igual.
Home came come. Who has come o who had come after me. Si había estado hablando con este señor que había llegado justo después de mí. He was there because
Hadn't received.
He hadn't received, exactly. He hadn't received some of his mail. So what would you choose here?
So I had asked.
Exactly. I had asked. Do you know Mr. Ling, do you? And he said, yes, that's me. I couldn't believe it. I had.
Had, sería.
Exactly. In this case, we have two had. Sí, aquí tenemos los dos hats unidos. El uno actúa como auxiliar y el otro. So, I had his email. Okay, let's complete the last part, please. Let's move to number 3, which is quite small. Actually, on my last birthday, my girlfriend
Had decided.
Very good, to take me to this restaurant that she
That she
had gone, exactly. Como vamos repitiendo algunos verbos, ya nos vamos acordando, ¿no? Had gone to with some friends. I
had heard.
Okay, I have heard. Exactly, with the. About it, but. Había escuchado de eso, pero. Hadn't. Exactly. I hadn't had a chance to go there. No había tenido la oportunidad de ir ahí. I hadn't had a chance to go there. Anyway, we
Showed.
exactly with ed at the end. Es verbo regular. We had showed up at the restaurant and my coworker was there celebrating her birthday too. Exactly. Well done, guys. Perfect. Muy bien. Thank you so much. I'm very glad of your work. Now, what are we going to do, guys, just to end with this whole lesson? We're going to complete a listening record, okay? Oh, let me see. Okay, guys. Finally, we have this short listening, okay? We're going to listen a record. We're going to listen to Elena tell her friends about a coincidence, okay? We're going to listen and you will try, please, to help me with these questions. Help me with these 5 questions. Why had Elena joined an online chess forum? Sí, ¿por qué Elena se unió a un foro de ajedrez en línea? Sí. What does she think about her online chess partner? ¿Qué es lo que piensa ella de su compañero de ajedrez? How had Elena and Derek met? ¿Cómo se conocieron Elena y Derek? What did Elena discover about Derek? And how did she find out? ¿Sí? ¿Qué fue lo que descubrió Elena de Eric y cómo lo descubrió? And what does Elena say about coincidences? ¿Qué es lo que nos dice esta chica Elena sobre las coincidencias? Okay, guys, please pay attention and help me with the answers.
Page 55. 3. Listening. It's a small world. A. Listen to Elena tell a friend about a coincidence. Answer the questions.
So, you're not going to believe what happened to me today.
Why? What happened?
Well, I was on my lunch break and I was sitting in a cafe and playing chess on my tablet. I'd joined this online chess forum a few months ago. 'Cause, you know, it's hard to find people who play chess. And it's so much fun, so...
Sounds like you're really into chess.
Yeah, I've actually gotten pretty addicted to playing online. But anyway, I was playing against this guy, and he's pretty good. Well, we're about the same level, I guess. So, our games are always really close. And yeah, we play a few times a week. And you know, we'd played maybe, I don't know, 20 games or something together before, so yeah, anyway. He'd just made a move, and I was trying to figure out my next move, and this guy stopped by my table to say hi.
Someone you knew?
Yeah, this guy from work. Derek. He's worked there for a couple of years. He's a pretty cool guy. I mean, I don't know him very well, but we had worked on a project together a year ago, and I see him in the cafeteria sometimes. Anyway, he noticed that I was playing chess, and he told me that he played too. So I'm like, that's neat. And I ask him, like, if he's a good player and everything. And he goes, yeah, I play pretty well. And then he says, it's hard to find people who play well. And I'm laughing and saying, yeah, I have the same problem. You know, finding someone who plays really well. I mean, chess is like tennis. It's no fun if you're a lot better than your partner, so...
That's true. So don't tell me, you end up finding a new chess partner?
No, wait. So then he says, why don't we play together sometime? And I said, okay. And he says, I'll give you my online name. Like the name he plays under online. So I'm like, okay, what is it? And he says, Cool Chess Guy.
No way! Don't tell me it was him?
Yep. I just started laughing. Can you believe it? And I'm like, no way. I mean, what are the chances of that? There he was. He'd been on the other side of the cafe, and then I found out we're playing each other.
That's so weird. It just goes to show it's a small world.
I know. We'd probably played, like I said, 20 chess matches against each other and hadn't realized that we knew each other.
That's funny.
It is. But you know, coincidences like that happen to me all the time. I mean, that kind of stuff happens to me a lot. It's kind of weird. I mean, really weird.
Okay, guys. So you heard this lady, Elena, talking to his friend about the coincidence. Maybe did you catch some of the answers? Why had Elena joined to an online chess forum? Why do you think she plays this online chess game? Listen again, guys, and I'm going to pause right after each part, okay? Pay attention.
Page 55. 3.
So, you're not going to believe what happened to me today.
Why? What happened?
Well, I was on my lunch break and I was sitting in a cafe and playing chess on my tablet. I'd joined this online chess forum a few months ago. 'Cause, you know, it's hard to find people who play chess.
So, why has she joined to this chess forum? Why do you think Elena chose to join to this online chess forum, guys? She said something, cause. Si ella empieza diciendo o utilizando la contracción de because, right? Cause. Help me with the answer, guys.
Sitting in a cafe and playing chess on my tablet. I'd joined this online chess forum a few months ago. 'Cause, you know, it's hard to find people who play chess.
So, what's the answer? Can you help me with the answer, please? Let me see. Giovanna.
Teacher, no le puedo entender muy bien.
Okay, guys, just as a tip, your listening part of the proficiency test is going to be something like this. Sí, el examen de suficiencia en la parte de listening va a ser muy parecido a este ejercicio. Es decir, van a tener un listening largo y ustedes van a tener que responder 6 preguntas. So you need to be attentive, guys, because the record is only going to play twice. Solo les repiten 2 veces el audio y el que alcanzó, alcanzó y el que no, no. Así que pilas, estos ejercicios son siempre una práctica con esa finalidad, con la finalidad de que ustedes estén listos para el examen de suficiencia. So, as nobody is going to answer, I will have to assign each question to a person and repeat again the record, okay? So, I'm going to write your names right after or right before the question. Giovanna is going to help me with the first one, just in case she didn't get the answer. It's going to help her Kumi. Number 2, it's going to be for Alex. Will help me with number 2. In case Alex didn't get the answer, it's going to help me Brian. In question number 3, it's going to help me Sabrina. And just in case Sabrina don't get the answer, will also help me Cassandra. Okay, for question number 4, it's going to help me Maffer. In case Maffer don't get the answer, will help Mauricio. Okay, and for question number 5, it's going to help me Lau.
Teacher, disculpe, ¿me puede repetir? No le escuché bien.
You're going to listen again the record and you will help me with the answer of question number 4, Mauricio.
Thank you. Okay, teacher.
And just in case Lau didn't get the answer, Jenny will help her with number 5. Okay, so I assigned some of you to help me with these answers. And I'm going to play again the record, guys. Pongan mucha atención porque les voy a volver a poner play en el audio. Vayan sacando las respuestas, chicos. Pay attention.
So, you're not going to believe what happened to me today.
Why? What happened?
Well, I was on my lunch break and I was sitting in a cafe and playing chess on my tablet. I'd joined this online chess forum a few months ago. 'Cause, you know, it's hard to find people who play chess. And it's so much fun, so...
Sounds like you're really into chess.
Yeah, I've actually gotten pretty addicted to playing online. But anyway, I was playing against this guy, and he's pretty good. Well, we're about the same level, I guess. So, our games are always really close. And yeah, we play a few times a week. And you know, we'd played maybe, I don't know, 20 games or something together before, so yeah, anyway. He'd just made a move, and I was trying to figure out my next move, and this guy stopped by my table to say hi.
Someone you knew?
Yeah, this guy from work. Derek. He's worked there for a couple of years. He's a pretty cool guy. I mean, I don't know him very well, but we had worked on a project together a year ago, and I see him in the cafeteria sometimes. Anyway, he noticed that I was playing chess, and he told me that he played too. So I'm like, that's neat. And I ask him, like, if he's a good player and everything. And he goes, yeah, I play pretty well. And then he says, it's hard to find people who play well. And I'm laughing and saying, yeah, I have the same problem. You know, finding someone who plays really well. I mean, chess is like tennis. It's no fun if you're a lot better than your partner, so...
That's true. So don't tell me, you end up finding a new chess partner?
No, wait. So then he says, why don't we play together sometime? And I said, okay. And he says, I'll give you my online name. Like the name he plays under online. So I'm like, okay, what is it? And he says, Cool Chess Guy.
No way! Don't tell me it was him?
Yep. I just started laughing. Can you believe it? And I'm like, no way. I mean, what are the chances of that? There he was. He'd been on the other side of the cafe, and then I found out we're playing each other.
That's so weird. It just goes to show it's a small world.
I know. We'd probably played, like I said, 20 chess matches against each other and hadn't realized that we knew each other.
That's funny.
It is. But coincidences like that happen to me all the time. I mean, that kind of stuff happens to me a lot. It's kind of weird. I mean, really weird.
Okay, guys. Did you catch the answers maybe for the first one? Why did she join to this?
She has joined a forum for a few months because it is fun to play chess online with other people.
Okay, it is fun to play with other people. Kumi, did you catch something else?
Yeah, teacher, you have joined a chess forum because it is fun to play with other people online.
Okay, it's fun to play with other people online. And she also said it's hard to find someone good, right? It's fun to play online, but it's also hard to find someone who plays well. Okay. What about number 2, Alex and Brian? Did you get any answer of number 2?
Yes, teacher. She think chess partner shall be pretty and addictive.
Okay, she thinks that yes, playing chess online is addictive, but what happens with her partner? ¿Qué pasa con su compañero o con la persona con la que está jugando ella?
You live near she teacher.
Okay, yes, I can listen to you, Alex. Alex.
Excuse me, teacher. Decía que a ver, he is near to she teacher.
Yes, that's the context, but how does she think about, or what does she think about her partner? ¿Qué piensa de la persona con la que está jugando? She said something. Let me just move or repeat that part, okay? Vamos a esa parte.
Page 55.
Sorry.
Was sitting in a cafe and playing chess on my tablet. I'd joined this online chess forum a few months ago. 'Cause, it's hard to find people who play chess.
Aquí les dice, ¿no? La primera, 'cause, it's hard to find someone who plays good chess or who plays well chess. Vamos a la respuesta de la segunda. Listen carefully, guys.
And it's so much fun, so...
Sounds like you're really into chess.
Yeah, I've actually gotten pretty addicted to playing online. But anyway, I was playing against this guy, and he's pretty good.
Ojo, estaba jugando con este chico. Y él es... What do you listen?
But anyway, I was playing against this guy, and he's pretty good. Well, we're about the same level, I guess.
So what does she think about him?
He is very good teacher.
Exactly, he is pretty good. He is pretty good. Is in the same level as she is, right? Está como en el mismo nivel que la chica, ¿no? Mientras juegan. Sabrina or Cassandra, did you get the answer for number 3? Oh, let me see. I had They met on the online chess forum. Did you get where do they met? ¿Dónde se conocieron Elena y Derek?
I made en players, en unos juegos.
Nope. Listen carefully, ladies.
So, our games are always really close. And yeah, we play a few times a week. And you know, we'd played maybe, I don't know, 20 games or something together before, so yeah, anyway. He'd just made a move, and I was trying to figure out my next move, and this guy stopped by my table to say hi.
Someone you knew?
Yeah, this guy from work. Derek.
Aquí ya les introduce la respuesta, chicas, de la número 3. Listen.
Next move, and this guy stopped by my table to say hi.
Someone you knew?
Yeah, this guy from work. Derek.
So, where did they meet? ¿Dónde se encontraron ellos? ¿De dónde se conocían? Derek y Elena.
The new? No.
No.
He's worked there for a couple of years. He's a pretty cool guy. I mean, I don't know him very well, but we had worked on a project together a year ago, and
Where do they meet? ¿De dónde se conocen?
En un proyecto.
De trabajo.
Ajá, de un proyecto, de un trabajo. Exactly. They met at work, ¿no? Dicen, this guy from work. Este tipo del trabajo, este chico del trabajo. This guy from work. So they met their work. What did Elena discover about Derek? Maffer or Mauri, did you get it?
Teacher, sí le puede repetir porque la verdad no lo entendí bien. O sea, que descubrió Elena de Derek.
Listen carefully because you are about to listen to this.
see him in the cafeteria sometimes. Anyway, he noticed that I was playing chess, and he told me that he played too. So I'm like, that's neat. And I ask him, like, if he's a good player and everything. And he goes, yeah, I play pretty well. And then he says, it's hard to find people who play well. And I'm laughing and saying, yeah, I have the same problem. You know, finding someone who plays really well. I mean, chess is like tennis. It's no fun if you're a lot better than your partner. So,
That's true. So don't tell me, you end up finding a new chess partner?
no, wait. So then he says, why don't we play together sometime? And I said, okay. And he says, I'll give you my online name. Like the name he plays under online. So I'm like, okay, what is it? And he says, Cool Chess Guy.
No way! Don't tell me it was him?
Yep. I just started laughing. Can you believe it? And I'm like, no way. I mean, what are the chances of that? There he was. He'd been on the other side of the cafe, and then I found out we're playing each other.
That's so weird. It just goes to show it's a small world.
I know. We'd probably played, like I said, 20 chess matches against each other and hadn't realized that we...
Okay, maybe. Did you catch what happens with Derek and Elena? Somebody already told me the answer, but...
Teacher, uno podría ser que who had played with Derek online 20 games. Que había jugado con él 20 partidos, algo así.
Exactly, yes. Derek was the guy she was playing with, this pretty good guy. So Elena didn't know that Derek was the guy until ¿Cómo se enteró ella que era él su compañero de trabajo con el que estaba jugando?
Porque él creo que le dio su sobrenombre, algo así, en el juego que
Dio
ella...
su nick, exacto. Le dio su nickname del juego. Perfect, Jenny. Excellent listening. I think, Jenny, you're going to get a good grade in your proficiency test in listening. Thank you. So at the end, what does Elena say about coincidences? Lau o Jenny, ¿qué fue lo que escucharon que decía Elena sobre las coincidencias?
A ver, decía, she said that the world is small and that the incidents like that happen all the time.
Exactly. Yes.
El mundo es
That,
pequeño.
it's a small world, right? Sí, es un mundo muy pequeño. A mí me pasan todo el tiempo este tipo de coincidencias, decía Elena. And
Incidentes como ese.
some things like this always happens to me, decía ella, ¿no? Cosas como estas me pasan siempre, siempre me pasan a mí. Something you need to know, guys, is also that let me see. In these kind of listenings, you have these expressions that they are always so natural when you're talking with each other. That is, for example, no way. This no way means like, sería como cuando nosotros estamos conversando y decimos, no, ¿en serio? ¿En serio? Así es como cuando uno se emociona y dice, no lo puedo creer. That would be a no way. No way has that kind of feeling when you are having a conversation with someone. Sí, entonces es algo muy natural, una frase que pueden ocupar mucho cuando es algo increíble, sí, es algo sorprendente. Pueden utilizar el no way. That would be a good phrase you can use. Okay, guys. We're going to continue. Vamos a continuar. And I'm going to ask you guys to help me with the next exercise, okay? Teacher Diego is having some problem with internet and we will handle this out later. But as I was telling you guys, we need to move on. ¿Cómo son en este caso? Pues after, before, and until. Sí, aquí tenemos un par igual de preposiciones de tiempo que las utilizamos mucho con el past perfect tense. After, es decir, después, before, antes, y until, hasta. Okay? So, what are you going to do today as your classwork, guys? You're going to complete the sentences using the best or the verb that fits the best from these verbs we have in this list. Okay, let me make another rectangle. Okay, so you're going to choose the right verb from these ones on this box, and you're going to conjugate this verb in past participle, okay? So you're going to complete, for example, let's make number 1. Vamos a hacer la número 1 juntos. By the time the bell rang, ¿sí? A la hora que sonó la campana, Mark, ¿cómo completaríamos esta? ¿Qué verbo elegirían ustedes para la número 1? Bien, aquí tenemos incluso el dibujo del niño. What do you think?
Teacher, puede ser have.
Have had, ok. Sí, estamos hablando de la comida, ¿no es cierto? En este caso, lunch. Y pues almorzar se dice en inglés have lunch, ¿no es cierto? Entonces el pasado sería had had. Hemos ocupado ya uno de los verbos de la cajita, que es el verbo have, ¿no es cierto? Entonces van a seguir con ese ritmo, ¿no? Van a seguir completando estas oraciones. Pueden fijarse en los dibujitos como para tener un poco de idea de qué es lo que va, ¿no? Si es que tienen alguna duda del verbo que podrían utilizar, fíjense en los dibujitos que tal vez les puede servir de ayuda. ¿Ok? Let me share with you guys the link, and also let me share the email, because you know how it works. Ya saben cómo funcionan los classwork, ¿no? Es decir, que yo les envío el link, ustedes completan, luego tenemos que subir la evidencia, no se olviden de enviarme el resultado, ¿no? Al mail. Ya les envío, justo ahorita les publico el link. Pay attention to the Zoom chat and also to the WhatsApp group, because I'm going to share in both groups. Les voy a compartir en ambos grupos el link para que puedan empezar con su trabajo. Okay, guys? So we have 20 minutes to complete this exercise, guys. 20 minutos para completar este ejercicio, okay?
Teacher, and first of all, I want to apologize because I had some problems with my internet connection, but now it's working well. So, good morning, guys. Hope you're doing well, and we are going to start with lesson 6D, B in this case. So, as the teacher said before, we're going to continue with the topic of superstition. So, for the first activity, I have these set of questions from 1 to 16, and I want you, some of you, to please help me choosing a number. In this case, please, Anderson, please, can you help me with a number?
Excuse me, teacher.
Help me, please, choosing a number from 1 to 16.
Number 7.
Okay, let's see, number 7. In this case, it says, if you catch this, you'll be the next to be married. What do you think it is? What object do you refer with this statement? Maybe if you catch this, you'll be the next to be married. This is something that happens in weddings. So do you know the answer?
Teacher, I don't marry.
No,
okay.
That you are married. We're saying that when you go to a wedding, cuando van a una boda, you catch something, ladies, single ladies, catch something. What is it? ¿Qué es lo que atrapan las chicas solteras?
El ramo de flores.
The flowers.
Yes, that's it. So this is a common tradition, like also could be a kind of superstition in which it says that if the one girl catch this thing, okay, so in this case, let's check. Okay, the wedding flowers or the bouquet could be, okay. So if they catch them, it is supposed that they will be married, the next to be married,
they are
guys.
going to be the next ones.
Yeah, so but this is just a superstition, guys, so remember. Okay, so thank you, Anderson. Let's see now, please, Jenny, please help me with another number.
9.
Okay, let's see, number 9. This kind of weather brings good luck on your wedding day. What kind of weather do you think it is? Maybe I haven't heard about it. Do you know the answer? Kind of weather.
Kind.
What do you think? Maybe, I don't know, can be sunny, cloudy? We're talking about weather in this case.
Kind?
Okay, let's check because I didn't know about this. Okay, rain. Oh, I didn't know that. So it says that maybe If you get married in a rainy day, it brings you good luck in your wedding day. So I didn't know that, but thank you, Jenny. So in this case, now you know if you want to get married, uh, and if it starts to rain, so it means that you will have the good lucky day. So that's it, guys. Now, thank you, Jenny. Now let's see another number, please. Cassandra, please, can you help me with a number?
11.
Okay, let's see number 11. Hold this for it token for good luck. What do you think it means? What thing do you think this describes? Hold this furry token for good luck. Do you know, Cassandra, what does it mean? What does it refer to?
This furry, what do you mean it's furry?
Okay, so uh,
The thing is that yes, Cassandra is saying that she doesn't know the meaning of the word furry.
okay, furry.
This furry means puede ser algo peludo. Dice hold this furry token. ¿Han escuchado ustedes, por ejemplo, de las patitas de conejo que suelen haber? Esos son como amuletos de buena suerte. Dice hold this furry token for good luck. Un token es un amuleto, ¿no? Entonces ahí tenemos como un amuleto peludo. ¿Qué tipo de amuleto peludo creen que sea para la buena suerte?
Las arañas.
You know something?
This
Which
furry.
one?
Can you repeat that, Cassandra?
Las arañas.
Spiders.
Okay, so let's check, guys. Oh yeah, indeed,
rabbit.
this was a rabbit's foot. So maybe some, okay, it's also common in here, I guess, because some people have this token, this furry token, in this case that is a rabbit foot, that they think they brings good luck. So that is what
It's
is
common.
it's referred. So
Especially, I think in communities, they have this belief that some kind of animals bring them luck. So yes.
yes, I guess that that's something related with culture, depending on the different cultures that we have in
Yes.
here. So it depends. But that is about. So thank you, Cassandra. Now let's see. Brian, please, can you help me with another number?
Number 1, teacher.
Okay, let's see number 1.
Number
Okay.
1. Ooh,
Can you help me with
fun.
another number, please? It was just a power up. Sorry. Please, Brian, tell me another number.
Number 10.
Okay, let's see number 10. Here it is. It says, if you see this, pick it up, and all day long you'll have a good look. What do you think it refers? This if you see it, pick it up. Try to catch it, pick it up, and all day long you'll have good luck. Tal vez
Piquito es como tomar algo. Como
yes.
que alguien. Sí, ¿no es
Instant
cierto?
nos
Sí.
dices
Ok, ok, ya, ya.
Okay, so what do you think it refers? Dice, if you see this, si lo ves, recógelo, tómalo. Y todo el día, el resto del día tendrás buena suerte. And all day
When you
long,
go, when you
Okay,
go
okay.
on the street and you see something, what do you think it is?
A clover. Un trébol.
A clover could be a clover. Podría ser un trébol, but something else. Else that you go on the street and you say, "Oh, look at this," and you pick it and you got it on your hand. What do you think it is?
A cent. A cent.
Okay, there's a word. There's a word in English for that small money.
okay, so let's check. Yes, indeed,
1 cent.
it's
Yes,
a
1
penny.
cent.
Okay, that's the correct expression that we use in English to say, in this case, a cent. A coin of 1 cent, it's called a penny. Okay, so It says that if you see a penny maybe on the street, you have to pick it up, and all day long you'll have good luck. Okay, so that's the superstition. But thank you, Brian. Now let's see, please. Alex, sorry, Alex, please. Can you help me with another number?
Teacher number 8.
Okay, let's see, number 8. This day might bring bad luck. Okay, and here we're going to focus on a date, on a very specific date.
There's a day in the month that when you listen, you say, oh, it's going to be bad. It's going to be a bad day.
So, what day do you think it is? Maybe there are also some movies without
Teacher,
title.
puede ser lo que dijo hace rato de Black Cat, teacher.
In this
No,
case,
in this case, we are not talking about animals. We're talking about a day of the week.
Tuesday 13?
okay, it could be. So let's see, because I
Very
think there are
good.
2 days.
2 days.
Yes, so let's check. Okay, in this case, it's Friday 13. Also, I guess there is also a Tuesday 13, but
Tuesday.
in this case, both days are meant to bring bad luck in this kind of superstition, guys.
Yes.
So thank you.
In Spanish, we heard, en español siempre se escucha, ¿no? Viernes 13 o martes 13, ni te casas ni te embarques. So that is because it brings you bad luck.
Yes. So please, let's see one. Eric, please, can you help me with another number? Eric Paquiza.
Hi, teacher. Number 4.
Okay, let's see number 4. This plant can be lucky if you find one with 4 leaves. I guess some of your classmates said before. So what do you think it is? We are talking about a plant. That you be lucky if you find one with 4 leaves.
¿Sería como planes de futuro o cábalas?
No, in this case, this is a plant. Okay, una planta, a plant. No plant, just with a T, plant. And try to see if you will be lucky if you find one with 4 leaves. Vas a ser muy suertudo si encuentras una que tenga cuatro hojas. What do you think it is?
Un trébol de 4 hojas.
Yes.
Oh, estaba confundido con las plantas que utilizan para rituales y ese tipo de cosas.
Okay, yeah.
No. Remember the name of the plant.
So in this case, we said a 4-leaf clover, or just a clover with 4 leaves could be. Okay, it is related with having good luck. It also can be seen as a token also to bring good luck. So maybe if you find one of these, the superstition said that you will be so lucky, or we will have good luck. So thank you. Now let's see. Kumanda, please. Can you help me with another number?
Number 3, teacher.
Okay, number 3. Oh, this was a power up. So please help me with another number. Please, Kumi, can you help me with another one?
Teacher, number 6.
Okay, let's see, number 6. Another power up. Okay, one final number, please.
Teacher, number 2.
Which one?
2. She said number 2.
Okay,
Yes,
number
teacher.
2. Okay, this is an easy one. A lucky number. What do you think is the most common lucky number? El número de la
Teacher, ¿cuál
suerte.
será? Number 8.
8.
Sí,
Okay,
creo,
maybe.
no tengo ni idea.
Okay, so let's check. Okay, in this case it's number 7. This is the most common lucky number, but maybe if you read the horoscope, there also it brings you some lucky numbers, but this number 7 is the most common lucky number. So that's the reason why maybe some people are meant to be married. They want to get married in this date, in date 7th of whatever month. So because they believe that it brings them luck in their marriage. So that's the most common number. But thank you. And let's see now, please. Galito, please, can you help me with another number?
Hi, teacher. 16.
Okay, the last one, 16. Okay, do you know what is the name of this item that is in the photo? This can be lucky if you hang it above the door. Maybe in some houses here, I have
Ah,
seen this item.
Outside some
eh,
as well. Hmm.
es la herradura de un caballo que decía eso.
Yes, but we're going to see how do we say this in English. So, it's a horseshoe. Okay.
Exactly. Don't forget, it's like your shoe, but in this case we're talking about the animal. So it's a horseshoe.
Yes. In this case, this is a kind of compound word because we have this horse and shoe. So the horseshoe refers to this in case of a la herradura that you said, Galito. So remember, when you want to say herradura, try to remember the horse and a shoe. So a horseshoe, that's the right
Okay,
word.
teacher.
Okay, so thank you, Galito. And let's see one more student, and please, Vicky, please, can you help me with another number?
I think 5, teacher, creo.
Okay, let's see, number 5. Okay, you win 50 points. Please help me with another number, please. That was just a power up of the game.
Mm, number 12.
Okay, number 12. Let's see. It says, if you step on this, you might break your mother's back. So, okay, this is a kind of weird superstition, but it has to do with like, as I was checking before, this means that it's more related with maybe when we are kids and we are trying to do some maybe competitions with another kids, or maybe our parents tell us this to keep us entertaining in doing something. So in this case, this means that no tiene una traducción literal esto, es porque sería si pisas esto, tu madre se puede lastimar la espalda, sería como que la traducción, pero en sí no es más como una rima sería, porque igual hay algunas en diferentes países, hay como diferentes rimas con similares a esto, pero lo que quiere decir en sí es que cuando digamos vemos ahí las baldosas, puede ser, o estamos en las veredas caminando, esto quiere decir que puede traer mala suerte pisar las líneas en sí. Por ejemplo, si es que pisas las líneas, los bordecitos de la baldosa, eso puede traer mala suerte. Eso es más o menos lo que quiere decir. Pero en sí esta es más como una tipo rima, pero también puedes estar eh, entre lo que decimos de las supersticiones. It could be
Mhm.
also like a superstition. So let's check. Yes, indeed. In this case, if you step on this, it means a crack. If you step a crack, you might break your mother's back. So this is a kind of rhyme because we have the word crack and back that has the 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 rhyme here. So
Yes, the same words.
okay, so I maybe did you catch the idea of this or or no? Is it clear now? because it was kind of weird. Also, I had to check it because I didn't know about this.
Yeah,
But
it's just
that's
a
it,
rhyme.
the meaning. Yeah. Okay, guys. So yes, already we've seen some of these superstitions that maybe some of them we already are familiar with, but some of them were kind of new for us. So it's good to learn and to know more about this topic. So now we're going to pass to the next activity, in which, okay, as you can see here, we have different images. As you know, as you see here, we have a broken mirror, a man walking down to, in this case, this stairs, I guess.
Under a ladder.
Yeah, a ladder. See, I forgot it.
He's under a
Also,
ladder.
one person opening with an umbrella open indoors. Also, we have this black cat, this number, this unlucky number, and also when some spelled salt in this case. Okay, so these are some images related with superstitions, and then we are going to see more about this. So in here, I have some questions for you guys. So the first one, please help me reading. Erika, please. Erika Rosas, can you help me reading the first one? This one. Okay, let me change the color because it is green. Erika, are you there, please? Can you help me reading this first
Yes,
question?
teacher. Yes, teacher. Eh, are you a superstitious person? What things are you superstitious about?
Okay, thank you, Erika. So this means maybe if you believe in superstitions on in what kind of things you have superstitions about. So thank you, Erika. Now let's read the second one. Please, Eli Andrango, please. Can you help me reading the second one?
Yeah. Do you read your horoscope? How does it help you?
Okay, this question is related maybe if you are fanatic of reading your horoscope, maybe because you believe in it or not, or maybe if you think that it has to do maybe with some aspects of your life, of it has helped you or not. And the last one, please, Giovanna, please, can you help me reading the third question?
Do you carry any kind of object that is meant to bring you luck?
Okay, yeah, this refers that maybe if you carry any of these token, un amuleto tal vez, que crean que les puede brindar buena suerte. So now that we already read these three questions, you will have just 2 minutes to answer, okay? Then I'm going to ask you, to some of you, to share your opinions about these questions, guys. Okay, in Venezuela, they say that people, if we swept over an unmarried woman's feet, she will never get married. Okay, so that's it. Now let's pass to South Korea, please. In this one is going to help me Cassandra, please, again.
Okay. In South Korea, if you give a boyfriend or girlfriend a pair of shoes, he or she will leave you.
Okay, so there it says that if you give a boyfriend or girlfriend, maybe to your couple, if you give them a pair of shoes as a gift, maybe your couple will leave you. Okay, so it's not good manners could be to give a pair of shoes to your couple in South Korea. Okay, because that will bring bad luck to the relationship, and maybe you can broke up with your boyfriend or girlfriend. So that's it. And let's pass to Argentina. In this case, Eric, please, can you help me reading this one? Eric Tuaquiza, please. Okay.
Yes, teacher. Um, pick up any coins you think and you some come into money.
Okay, yes, this is in some way related to the one that we saw before about the penny. If you see a penny on the street, pick it up and you will have good luck. So it says that if you find any coin on the street, you have to pick it up and then you will have a luck in getting some money. Okay, so I think this is clear. So let's pass to Peru. In this one, please, Comanda, please, can you help me reading this one? Kumi, please, can you help me reading about Peru? Okay, think you're not there. So please, Vicky, please, can you help me reading this one? Peru.
Okay, teacher. Peru. If you put clothes on inside out, you will get a nice surprise.
Okay, so it means it says if you put clothes on inside out, you will get a nicer price. I'm not really sure about what does it mean if you put clothes on inside out.
It means that you are putting the other way around. Sí, cuando ustedes se ponen la al revés. Inside out significa al revés. Es decir, when you put on inside out, cuando se ponen la ropa al revés, que a veces pasa, ¿no? Por salir al apuro o alguna cosa, en la mañana no se ve bien. When you put your clothes inside out, you will get a nice surprise. That means that something good is going to happen you through the day.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Yeah.
I didn't know about this inside out. So it means al revés, guys. So don't forget. So maybe it's I think that some of us have it has happened to some of us maybe in some days when we have hurry and we just put the first thing that we find in our closet maybe and we don't even look at us in the mirror and just leave. Maybe we can put our clothes on inside out in this case. But so the superstition that says that maybe if you do this, you will have a nice surprise during the day or maybe in the future. So who knows? Now let's pass to Mexico. In this case, it's going to help me. Let me see. Lisbeth Munoz, please. Can you help me with this one?
Mexico. If a bride wears pearls, she will cry all her married life.
Okay, so it means thank you, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, yes. In this case, it says that if a bride wears pearls, she will cry all her married life. So I think that is bad luck to wear, in this case, a necklace of pearls when you're in your wedding, because it will bring sadness to in this case, to the bride. Dice, si la novia usa un collar de perlas o perlas, ella va a llorar durante toda su vida de casada, durante todo su matrimonio. So it's bad luck there to use a necklace of pearls.
Oh my God, it's good that it's just a necklace because otherwise when I get married, I'm going to cry all my marriage.
Yeah. Mhm. Okay, now let's pass to Turkey. And this is the last one. So please, in this one, can you help me, Galito, please?
Okay, teacher. Turkey, your wish will come true if you stand between two people with the same name.
Okay, thank you, Galito. Okay, this means that maybe if you know two people that have the same name, Okay, this can be, I don't know, maybe they have just the first name or if they have to have the exactly same name, but I don't know. So it says that maybe if you are in between these two persons with the same name, your wishes will come true. So it says that si estás, se quedas parado entre dos personas que tienen el mismo nombre, dice que tus deseos se van a hacer realidad. Así que, pero no sabría decirles si tienen que tener el exacto nombre, que sea todo el nombre, nombres y apellidos, o solo el primer nombre, que sea el mismo.
But
Maybe later I can do some research.
we have something here that brings us luck. When you say, for example, when an eyelash just falls, some people take the eyelash and say like, make a wish, make a wish, make a wish,
Yeah.
right? That's something we have here.
Yeah.
Sí, eso tenemos aquí.
And then they
Pide un deseo,
have to guess in which finger the eyelash will
is
stick.
it stick the, yeah.
Also, I guess in some other countries they have this with a turkey bone, with a bone of the turkey, in which they have to divide. Then the person who gets the bigger portion of the bone will the wish of that person will come true, maybe, or something like that. Yeah, I guess.
Yes, that's the lucky bone. Yes.
Yeah. So those are some in this case some superstitions around the world. Maybe some of them are kind of weird. Maybe some of them are has to do with their culture, and in here maybe we can have some similar superstitions. So it's good to know how the beliefs of people from all over the world, guys. Now we're going to pass to the next slide. In this part, we have to categorize these superstitions. So please, guys, can you do a screenshot of this? Or maybe I will do it and send it to your WhatsApp group. So let me. So because we have to categorize these superstitions, so give me a minute, guys. I will send you to the WhatsApp group. Okay, so it's charging, please, guys. So give me a moment, a minute. Okay, there it is. Now that you have the screenshot, you're going to help me to categorize in these two big categories. The things, the superstitions that brings good luck, and the ones that brings or has to do with bad luck. So you just have to tell me in this case the countries, guys. So please, can you help me in this case? Lillian, please, with the first one. The first one is Taiwan. Do you think it is related with bad luck or good luck? What do you think? Are you there, Lily?
Yes, teacher.
So Taiwan, the one that says if you see a crow in the morning, you will have a bad day. That is related with good luck or bad luck?
I think it's not real. I don't.
Okay, it means that if you see, dice, si es que ves a un cuervo en la mañana, vas a tener mala suerte. Entonces, ¿dónde lo ubicamos? ¿En cosas que dan suerte o mala suerte?
Bad luck.
Yes, bad luck. Yeah, in this
It's
case,
bad,
so I'm going to
bad luck.
write just the name of the country in this case, because you already have the information. Thank you, Lily. Now let's see with the second one, that is Japan. So for this one, Jenny, please, can you help me with this one? Where do we place Japan? ¿Dónde ubicamos?
And it good look too.
Okay, yes, indeed, because it was about tea leaf. So it was meant to bring good luck. So here we place Japan. Okay, thank you, Jenny. Now let's see with the next one, Thailand. We have Thailand. Let's see. In this case, Sabrina, please, can you help me with this one? Do you think it is a good look or bad look? Which one? If you dream of a snake holding you tightly, you will soon meet your soulmate. What do you think? That will bring you good luck or bad luck? ¿Será de
Can you
buena
repeat,
suerte o
please?
mala suerte? Okay, the one that says Thailand, de Tailandia, la superstición de Tailandia, que decía si es que sueñas con una serpiente que te está apretando, se está enrollando en ti fuertemente, pronto vas a conocer a tu alma gemela. ¿Eso será de buena suerte o mala suerte? What do you think?
Depende si te quieres casar o no.
Okay, yeah, that can be in the middle of, but in this case, I guess most of the people think that is good luck. So
Good luck.
yeah, maybe for some of us it could be bad luck because we want to still be single. Okay, so in this case, let's place it in good luck. So thank you, Sabri. It was which one? Thailand, I guess. Yes, Thailand. Okay, thank you, Sabri. Now let's pass to the next one. It was Brazil. So where do we place Brazil? In this case, Cassandra, please, can you help me with Brazil? If you leave your purse on the floor, your money will disappear. What do you think? It is good luck or bad luck?
Es bad luck,
Yes,
es de
indeed.
mala suerte.
Yes. Thank you. Now the next one is Venezuela. And this one is going to help me. Brian, please. Do you think it is for good luck or bad luck?
Teacher, Venezuela is good look.
¿Cuál teacher?
Good luck? Are you
For
sure?
me, it's good look.
Okay, I was asking
Yes.
Brian. Okay, Lily says it's good
Depende,
luck.
teacher.
Okay, but in this case, it's okay. It depends. It depends. But in this case, it says for unmarried woman, las mujeres ya solteras, en este caso, que es de mala suerte porque no, nunca se van a casar, les dice. Entonces, bueno, en este caso sería de mala suerte, pero ya depende.
It seems, yeah. It depends because I think this is an old superstition. Before, women didn't used to work. So if a woman couldn't marry a guy, that was definitely bad luck because they couldn't study, they couldn't work. So they didn't have anyone who can take care of them. But now that we women are able to do anything, it's not so bad luck. I think that, as Lily told us, could be even good luck. Mm-hmm.
Yes, because now we don't have the need to depend on someone else because we are independent and yeah, it doesn't matter the genre in here.
Yes,
So
that's
yeah,
great.
that's it. But
Mm-hmm.
also then I had a video prepared for you to see the origin of these more common superstitions because as the teacher said, some of them has to do with the culture of the and the history of maybe some countries also that it's something curious that we're going to see then. Okay, so now let's see the next one was South Korea. Okay, so in this one is going to help me. Alex, please, what do you think? It is for good luck or bad luck? If you buy a pair of shoes to your girlfriend,
Teacher, it's bad luck.
okay, yeah, it's bad luck indeed. Maybe this can be a weird we are superstition maybe because in here whatever gift is good to be received, I guess. But there, if you buy a pair of shoes to your girlfriend or boyfriend, then you will broke up with your couple. So thank you, Alex. Now let's see the next one. Peru. Ah, no, sorry, Argentina. Argentina. This one is going to help me. Let's see. Which one? Who wants to help me? Okay, Nancy, please. The one, the superstition of Argentina that said, pick up any coins you find, and you will soon come into money. That's good luck or bad luck?
Good luck, teacher.
Yes. Okay, so it was Argentina. So it was for good luck. And let's see one more. Let's see with Mexico. Okay, sorry. With Mexico. Erika Rosas, please. Can you help me with Mexico? It is for good luck or bad luck?
Bad luck, teacher.
Yes, in this case, it's bad luck because no one wants to keep on crying all their marriage life. Mexico. Okay, guys, so thank you. Then we're going to pass to the next slide. Okay, in this part, okay, so let's wait a bit. I had an activity from the book, I guess, I remember. Okay, in here we're going to, as you can see in here, we have different pictures of some things that we already know, but in here we have also a new one that is yellow with black butterfly, that it also has to do with something of look or unlook, I guess. So we don't know. So let's see. We're going to listen first to some people talking about these items, if they brings luck or bad luck. Then we're going to see and write for the lucky superstitions. We're going to write letter L, and for the unlucky ones, we're going to write letter U in this case, letter U. So let's listen.
Page 56. Lesson B. Superstitions. 2. Speaking and listening. Lucky or not? B and C. Listen to 4 people talk about superstitions. 1.
Oh, a black cat. Well, there are many different ideas about black cats in different countries. I guess what most people believe is that if a black cat walks toward you or crosses your path, walks across in front of you, then something bad will happen. You'll have some kind of bad luck. So basically, black cats are unlucky, I guess.
Okay, so what do you think with black cats? Do we place letter L or letter U? Which one? Let me write over here. Black
El,
It's
cat.
bad look too, teacher.
Okay, yes, it's bad luck. So we have to write the letter U in this case. Unlucky. Unlucky means the opposite to lucky in this case. So we have to write letter U. In this case, sorry, U. I don't know. U. Yes, that's it. Okay, so let's listen the next one.
2.
Superstitions about mirrors? The only one I know is if you break a mirror, you'll have 7 years of bad luck. These things often come in sevens, so you have to be careful when you're hanging up a mirror or cleaning or holding one, because if you drop it, you'll have bad luck for 7 years. You don't want that.
Okay, so what do you think? If you break a mirror, what will
The mirror,
happen?
teacher.
Yes,
Bad
first of all, let me write a mirror in here. Mirror could be un espejo roto. And which letter do we place, L or U?
Letter U.
Yes, in this
You.
case it's letter U. So let me write it over here. Letter U. Thank you. Now let's listen.
3. A four-leaf clover, yeah. Clover's a kind of plant, like grass, and it usually has 3 leaves on it. So if you find one with 4 leaves, it's supposed to be really lucky. I guess this is because they're so rare. You don't find many of them. I've never found one, though I've spent a lot of time looking. So, yeah, it's good luck to find a 4-leaf clover.
Okay, so we're talking in this about a clover. So, and if you find a four-leaf clover, we already see that was that brings a luck. So let's write it over here, a clover. And which letter do we place in here? And letter L or U?
L, letter L.
Okay, yes, in this case, letter L. And let's see the final one. What says about this yellow and black butterfly? So let's listen the last one.
4.
Huh. A yellow butterfly? There are a lot of superstitions about butterflies, both yellow ones and white ones. In some countries, they think if you see a yellow butterfly, then your wish will come true. So it's lucky. I think all butterflies usually bring good luck. Another one I heard is that if you see a yellow butterfly in the spring, you'll get a lot of new clothes. Now, that would be nice.
Okay, so a yellow butterfly. So let me write it over here. Let me see in here. Okay, so a yellow butterfly. And what do you think? Do we place letter L or U? It's something lucky or unlucky? What do you think,
Letter
guys?
L.
Lucky
Letter
teacher.
L.
Yes, letter L. Yes, that's it. Letter L. Because it says that in most of the countries all around the world, people believe that these butterflies can be lucky because if you see one of them, your wishes may come true. Okay, guys. So thank you. Now let me clear this part, and we are going to pass to the next one. Okay, so for this part, I'm going to share again the screen. Okay, in here we have this conversation. So I need you, two of you, uh, that help me reading this part. So let me see. In this case, we have Angie. Okay, Angie. Let me move it over here. And Terry. We have Angie and Terry. So in this case, okay, let me see. Cassandra, please. You're going to be Angie, and Alex is going to be Terry, please. So if you're ready, you can start reading.
Yeah. Justice looks good. I am so hungry.
So, excuse me. So I called you past the sal.
Sure. Webs, it's supposed to be unlucky to spill salt.
It is. I didn't know that.
No, neither did I until I read it on the internet.
Actually, I don't believe in all that superstition stuff.
Oh, I do. No, I always throw a bit of salt over my shoulder. If I spill it, and I never put salt on the table.
Well, neither do I, but that's because they're dirty.
And I always walk around leather, never under it.
Oh, so do I. But so nothing falls on my head.
Okay, thank you guys. So maybe if you have any new words in this conversation, maybe some words that will be new for you. Okay, I think no, because maybe this is a vocabulary that we already know. So, but in this part, we are going to see how do we respond to some maybe another way to respond in a conversation to show maybe agreement or disagreement. So, in this case, let's see. We have to focus on this part, guys. Let's see. It is, I didn't know that. So they are talking about what happened if someone spills salt. It is, so it says that it's unlucky to spill salt. And Terry asks, it is, I didn't know that. And Angie responds, no, neither did I. So we are going to learn how to use this expression neither and also this other one that is at the that is in here. So do I. So do I. Oh, so do I. And in here in negative, no, neither did I. So we are going to learn how to use those expressions to respond. Okay, guys, so let me explain you a bit about this. So in here we have the grammar, and we're going to learn some responses with so and neither. So in here we have different tenses that we can use. In here we have present with to be. In this case, that you remember that verb to be is am is are. So in this example, we have I'm hungry. En this case, to say yo también sería so am I la respuesta. Por ejemplo, si en una conversación están con alguien, Mauri, do you have any question?
No, teacher, disculpe.
Okay, yeah, I saw that you were raising your hand. Okay, but don't worry. Okay, so as I was telling you, maybe if you are in a conversation with someone and that person tells you that I'm hungry or I'm starving, and you feel the same too, y también ustedes tienen hambre, pueden responder, so am I, so am I, yo también tengo hambre, so am I. So this is another use of so to give responses, but this is the structure, so am I, with the present to be. Siempre van a responder así, cuando la oración base a la que tengan que responder esté con el verbo to be. Por ejemplo, más que todo con el am. En este otro ejemplo tenemos I'm not superstitious. En este caso, cuando la oración base es negativa y nosotros queremos compartir lo mismo de forma negativa, I'm not superstitious, no soy supersticioso. Then we need to use neither. Neither am I. Yo tampoco sería. Neither am I. Para decir yo también, so am I in positive sentences. But when we are talking about something negative, we need to use neither. Neither am I in this case. Okay, so that's the main difference between so and neither. So in this case, we use so in a positive way and neither in a negative way.
Mm-hmm.
Then also we can use using the simple present. So, but in this case, we need to make use of the auxiliary. Depending in this case is do, the auxiliary that we are going to use. Just to because in these responses, most of the time we're going to use just this personal pronoun that is I because we're going to respond in these questions. We're going to share our personal opinion about something and giving us a giving in the conversation a personal opinion. So that's the reason why we're going to use I in this case. For example, we have in here, I walk around ladders. Yo camino alrededor de las escaleras. I walk around ladders. And here we have so do I. So do I. In here we need to use the auxiliary do because we don't have any verb to be. So that's the reason why we need to use the auxiliary. So try to make this differentiation first because maybe in the first one we have I'm hungry with the present of the verb be.
Verb to be.
I'm hungry up to be, yes. Uh, so we need to respond with the verb to be. In this case, am. So am I. Yo también. So am I. Y en la negativa sería neither am I. Yo tampoco. We need to use am. But in this case that we don't have this verb to be, we need to make use of the auxiliary. And also here we have an example with negative. It says, I don't believe in superstitions. And we have to respond, neither do I, yo tampoco, because it is negative. And in here also we don't have any verb to be, so we need to use the auxiliary do. And also we can respond in the in simple past tense. So for example, in here we have, I knew that. Yo lo sabía. I knew that. As you can see here, the main verb knew is in past tense, so it's simple past. I knew that. Y si queremos decir yo también, en este caso solo usamos el mismo auxiliar que es do, pero en pasado. El pasado de do that you already know is did. So that's the difference. We need to use did. In this case, if someone tells you, I knew that, or something in past tense, you need to use did. So did I. In this case, is in positive, okay? When we're talking about something positive, and also we have an example in negative using the negation not. So in this case, it says, I didn't know that. No lo sabía. I didn't know that. And you say, neither did I, because it's negative. So that's the reason why we need to use neither. But also we can have we can find some other examples with, in this case, with have and also will to talk about the future, and with can could be. So for example, one example with have could be I have an uh,
Exam.
English test
Mhm.
tomorrow. Tomorrow. It could be like this. So, ¿cómo responderíamos a esa oración? Si fuéramos compañeros de clase y también tendríamos la misma prueba, ¿cómo
Ujú.
responderíamos?
De forma positiva.
I have an English test tomorrow.
So am I, teacher.
Okay, so it's correct, the first one. But in this case, we are not, we here don't have any verb to be, so we don't need to use am.
Sería so do I.
Okay, that's what I'm going to explain you now. In this case,
Mucho ojo con los modales. Estos actuarían como modales, ¿no?
yes, in this case, these modal verbs, we don't need to use any of the grammar rules that I explained you. We don't need to use the auxiliary do, nor the verb to be. So in this case, we need to use the same modal verb of the sentence. In this case, have. So uh, have I. In this case, that's the correct answer. So have I. Solo en estas serían como que excepciones. Cuando tengan el have, el will, el can o otro modal, tienen que responder utilizando el mismo modal. En cambio, si es que no tienen estas en la oración base a la que van a responder, solo tienen que darse cuenta en qué tiempo está primero, si está en presente simple o en pasado, y ver si es que tiene el verbo to be o no, para utilizar el auxiliar o responder con el verbo to be. Por ejemplo, entonces, let's make an example with will. I I will go to I will travel to Mexico. Okay, it could be I will travel to Mexico next month. ¿Cómo les responderíamos igual nosotros? Tendríamos que viajar a México el siguiente mes. ¿Cómo responderíamos? En una forma positiva. Who knows the answer? Maybe.
So will I?
Yes, that's it. Correct. Yes, it's the same. So will I. Yes, in this case we have will in the sentence, so we need to respond using the same word. The same in this case is like a modal verb could be, but also it is it's like to talk it using the future tense, so we need to use will as well. And also with can. In this case, let's make a negative one. I can't, I can't miss the class. I can't miss the class. No puedo faltar a la clase. ¿Cómo diríamos yo tampoco? In this case, we have a negative, the negation not. So, entonces, ¿cuál de las dos utilizamos? ¿Qué expresión utilizábamos para decir yo tampoco en oraciones negativas?
Neither.
Ok, neither. Yes, neither. ¿Qué más sería? ¿Qué utilizaríamos después?
Cannot, can,
Yes,
Can I?
can. En este caso el can ya va en la forma base porque el neither ya le da la negación. El neither le da la negación, entonces el can ya va en la forma base. Can I. Listo, así sería, chicos. Este es un tema fácil, nomás solo tienen que darse cuenta para responder a la oración, cómo está esta oración a la que vamos a responder, el tiempo y si es que tiene, en este caso, algún modal o si es que tiene el verbo to be. En caso de que no tenga, ya saben que utilizamos el do, el auxiliar, y si está en presente, le utilizamos solo el do en la forma base, o si está en pasado, utilizamos el did y tenemos que ver si es que la oración es positiva o negativa para responder de la misma forma, para decir yo también o yo tampoco. Okay, guys, so now we're going to do a short exercise for you to practice this a little bit more, guys. So let me share this part. Okay, here we have these sentences, as you can see here. The first one, I'm not at all superstitious. So in this case, first of all, we need to look that here we have the verb to be. So am in this case, and also we have the negation not. So it's a negative sentence. Then that's the reason why we need to use neither, then the verb to be, and the personal pronoun that I, because we're talking about ourselves. Okay, we're going to use this I because it's something personal or opinion para decir yo también o yo tampoco. That's the reason that we use I. So let's see in the next one. I always pick up coins when I see them on the sidewalk. I always pick up coins when I see them on the sidewalk. So in this case, please, can you help me? Vicky, please, can you help me with this one? ¿Cómo responderíamos? ¿Cómo podríamos decir yo también? First of all, let's see. It is a positive or negative sentence. ¿Es una oración negativa o positiva?
Positive, teacher.
Positive.
Yes, that's a positive sentence. So, which expression do we use? Neither or so?
So, teacher.
So.
Yes, so. Then we need to focus on if we have any modal verb or if we have a verb to be. ¿Tenemos un verbo modal o un verbo to be?
No.
Entonces, ¿qué utilizábamos cuando no teníamos el verbo to be ni un modal?
Do.
Yes, in this case, el auxiliar, that is do. Y al final, ¿qué ponemos?
I.
I. Yes. That's it, guys. Good job. So do I. Okay, guys. So now let's see the next one. It says, I don't know many superstitions. So in this part is going to help me Sabrina, please. ¿Cómo diríamos yo tampoco? I don't know many superstitions. Yo no sé sobre muchas supersticiones, no sé. ¿Cómo diríamos yo tampoco? Sabri, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, we need to focus on if it is a positive or negative sentence. So it is positive or negative. ¿Es positiva o
Negative.
negativa esta oración? I don't know many
Negative.
superstitions. Okay, so if it's negative, which expression do we use? Neither or so?
Neither.
Yes, that's it. Neither. Neither. Then we have, okay, we have, in this case, we have the auxiliary. Ya tenemos el auxiliar en la oración porque es negativo. Entonces tenemos que utilizar el mismo auxiliar. Which one is the auxiliary?
I.
Uh, can you repeat me, please? Neither.
Am I?
Okay, let me explain you in this part. Okay, we don't need to use am because in this sentence, I don't know many superstitions. No tenemos un verbo to be como en la primera. En la primera tenemos el I am. Ese es el
Yeah.
verbo to be. Por eso respondemos utilizando el mismo verbo to be. En el caso de la oración número 3, tenemos el don't. I don't know many superstitions. Aquí tenemos que utilizar en la oración base el don't,
Eh,
el do, porque para darle la negación. Entonces tenemos que utilizar el mismo auxiliar. ¿Cómo nos quedaría? Neither,
do you?
yes,
Do
neither
I?
I.
Do
Yes,
I?
exactly. Thank you, Sabri. Yes, that's it. Now let's see the next one. I didn't know the superstition about putting shoes on a table. Okay, in this one is going to help me. Galito, please. Can you help me with this one?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, ¿cómo nos quedaría para decir yo tampoco?
Neither did I.
Yes, neither did I. In this case, we need to use the auxiliary in the past tense because in the sentence we have it in the past tense. Ya tenemos, ¿no es cierto? El did. I didn't know the superstition about putting shoes on the table. No sabía, dice la superstición, de poner los zapatos sobre la mesa. Entonces, para decir yo tampoco, tenemos que utilizar igual el mismo tiempo de la oración a la que vamos a responder. Okay, thank you, Galito. Then we're going to pass to the next one. That is, I am usually a very lucky person. I'm a usually very lucky person. In this case, Mauricio, please, can you help me with this one? ¿Cómo diríamos yo también?
Neither.
Are you sure we need to use neither?
Neither.
Let's see. It is a positive or negative sentence. ¿Esta oración es positiva o
Positive.
negativa? Okay, so when the sentence that we are going to respond is positive, remember that we need to use so. Utilizamos el so. Solo cuando es negativo utilizamos el neither. En este caso dice yo
Okay.
soy usualmente una persona muy suertuda, sería, muy afortunada. I'm usually a very lucky person. Para decir yo también, ¿cómo pondríamos? So, ¿qué más ponemos? En esta parte tenemos, mira, un verbo to be.
I saw. So I do. ¿Así?
So,
Mm-mm.
ok, no.
So,
Mira el primer ejemplo.
sí,
Como está
so do I.
similar al primer ejemplo. Mira, el primer ejemplo dice, I'm not at all superstitious. Esta
So
es
am I.
una oración negativa. Esa, exacto. So am I. So am I, because it's a positive sentence that uses the verb to be. That's the reason why we need to use so am I. Yo también sería. So am I. Okay, remember that in the sentence you have to focus on the verb. Maybe if you have any verb to be. Y si no hay, tenemos que utilizar el auxiliar do. Y tenemos que ver si es positiva o negativa para ver si utilizamos el so o el neither. O tal vez si es que tenemos algún verbo modal, un modal verb, we need to use the same verb in the response. Okay, guys, so let's pass to the next one. Number 6. I've never found a four-leaf clover. Nunca he encontrado un trébol de 4 hojas. A ver, en esta parte me va a ayudar. It's going to help me. Jenny, please, can you help me with this one? I have never found a four-leaf clover.
Neither have I.
Yes, exactly. Neither have I. Exactamente. Y aquí utilizamos el neither porque eh, no es exactamente, no está la negación not, pero la palabrita never ya nos da el sentido negativo en la oración. Entonces, si es que encuentran el not, o puede estar también con el apóstrofe o también alguna palabra negativa como never, sorry. I've never found a four-leaf clover. Tenemos que utilizar igual la respuesta en negativo. Yo tampoco. Si dice yo nunca he encontrado un trébol de 4 hojas, decimos yo tampoco. ¿Ok? Y en este caso, como tenemos aquí el have, este I've significa el have, es solo con la contracción. I have never found a four-leaf clover. Entonces respondemos neither have I. Okay, here we need to use have. And then we're going to pass to the next one. Let me see here. We have number 7. I've always avoided walking under ladders. Okay, and this one is going to help me. Maybe
No, let's ask it to Mauri again to see if he got it.
Okay. So Mauricio, in this part, please. Let's see if you paid attention. ¿Cómo diríamos en este caso? I've always about walking under ladders. Sería yo también. ¿Cómo decimos yo también?
A ver, primero tenemos que ver si es negativa o positiva, ¿verdad?
Yes. So what do you think? Is positive or negative?
Positive. Sería so have I.
Yes, exactly. So have I. Exacto, eso, muy bien.
Very good.
Entonces, ven, es fácil darse cuenta, ¿no es cierto? Solo tienen que ver si es positiva o negativa primerito para ver si utilizamos el so o el neither. Después vemos si es que tenemos un verbo to be o si es que no tenemos verbo to be, utilizamos el auxiliar o si es que tenemos en este caso puede ser el have, el will, el can, el could, algún verbo modal para responder con el mismo. Por ejemplo, aquí tenemos la contracción del have, I have always sería, respondemos con el mismo el have. Okay, Mauri, so thank you, you paid attention. And let's see the final one. I was superstitious when I was a kid. This one is going to help me. Majo, please. María José, can you help me with this one? Para decir yo también. ¿Cómo diríamos yo también? Are you there, Majo?
Sí, yes, teacher.
Ok, ¿cómo nos quedaría?
So, yo también, ¿verdad?
Yes.
Yo también.
Sí, ¿cómo nos quedaría? Mira, en este caso tenemos que ver
Hey
primerito
there.
si es positiva o negativa. ¿Es positiva o negativa la oración?
Positiva.
Ya. Entonces, cuando es positiva, ¿cuál utilizamos? ¿El so o el neither?
El so.
Exacto.
So.
Entonces va primerito el so. Después tenemos algún verbo to be.
Sí.
Ok. Which one is the verb to be in here? ¿Cuál es el verbo to be?
I was.
Exacto. Entonces este está en pasado, ¿no es cierto?
Ajá.
Ya, ponemos so was. ¿Y
I.
qué más?
So
Yes,
was
exacto.
I.
Ya, muy bien. Entonces así
Very good.
respondemos. So was I.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not that difficult, guys, because you just have to look for the base sentence, and then you have to respond with the same structure of that sentence. Okay, guys, so then now we're going to practice a little bit more with an exercise of okay, let me see the activity here. Okay, so let me share the screen again, and we're going to start with this game. Okay, in this game, we're going to see some of these different sentences, and you have to tell me how do we respond to each sentence. So for the first one, it's going to help me, and let me see. Lisbeth Munoz, please. Can you help me with a number? Lisbeth, are you there?
Two.
Okay, let's see number two.
Number two.
Okay, I'm from Germany. ¿Cómo dirías yo también en el caso de que tú también fueras de Alemania?
So, so I'm I.
Yes, exactly. So am I. So let's check. Yes, that's correct. Okay, so thank you, Liz. Now let's see. Digna, please. Can you help me with another number?
Number 4.
Okay, let's see number 4. Okay, can you help me with another number, please?
And 5.
Okay, let's see number 5. I've never been to Russia. Yo nunca he estado en Rusia. ¿Cómo diríamos yo tampoco?
And neighbor have I.
Yes, exactly. Neither have I. Yes, because it's negative. Because of the word never, it gives the negative sense to the sentence. Thank you. Now let's see. Nancy, please. Can you help me with a number?
Number 3.
Okay, let's see. Number 3. I've got two sisters. I've got two sisters. Yo tengo dos
Sería,
hermanas. ¿Cómo diríamos? Yo también.
sería so have I.
Yes,
So have
exactly.
I.
So have I. Yo también.
Mhm.
So have I. Thank you, Nancy. Let's see now, please.
Teacher,
Okay. Which one?
teacher, disculpe, y la pregunta que pasó de las sister para decirle no, no tengo, o sea, eso.
A
¿Cuál
ver,
era
¿cómo?
la cinco? Five, number five.
Okay, it was a number 5. I guess.
In the number
This one,
five,
this one.
yeah,
I have
para
got two
decirle que
sisters.
no. I
Esa
have
pregunta
got.
de las hermanas, ¿me dices verdad o la del
Claro,
Rusia?
esta de aquí, bueno, aquí se dice yo también, y para decirle yo no, yo, qué sé yo no, yo tengo 4 hermanas, por ejemplo.
In this
Quiere
case,
decir,
if we...
claro, me parece que quiere
Sería I
decir que
haven't,
tampoco.
¿verdad, teacher?
So I
O
haven't.
sea, lo que pregunta Lili, dice la oración base está bien, así dice, yo tengo 2 hermanas, pero si Lili dice yo tengo más hermanas, sería 4. Entonces, ahí ya no utilizamos estas para decir
No,
yo
I
también y yo
haven't.
tampoco. Ahí solo podemos responder de otra forma, diciendo, eh, solo dirías eh, alguna expresión como que para seguir la conversación puede ser okay or cool, but I have eh, I have got, in this case, 4 sisters. Yo
Ya.
tengo 4 hermanas. Porque ahí
Entonces,
estás agregando más información personal. Entonces
ya.
es necesario decir la oración completa. En cambio, ahorita solo estamos aprendiendo a decir yo también y yo tampoco.
Ajá, si es que estuviese el
Solo,
haven't, podríamos utilizar el neither ahí, ¿no es cierto?
yes.
O sea, estas expresiones solamente son cuando estoy como que de acuerdo con lo que me están diciendo, ¿sí, no?
Sí, cuando
Sea
estás de acuerdo,
negativo o sea
exactamente.
afirmativo. Ah, ya.
Exacto.
Ya,
Sí.
teacher, gracias.
Okay, Lily, thank you for your question. Okay, now let's see. Erika Rosas, please, can you help me with another number?
Number 1, teacher.
Okay, let's see, number 1. I didn't go to school this morning. No fui a la escuela esta mañana. ¿Cómo diríamos yo tampoco?
I neither, teacher.
Neither. Ok, primerito va el neither, ¿no es cierto? Porque es negativa. Después del neither, ¿qué va?
Neither go to school.
Okay, in this case, we don't need to look for the details of the complement. No vamos a utilizar ninguna palabra del complemento de la oración. Recuerden que primerito vemos si es positiva o negativa. Entonces es negativo, utilizamos el neither. Después tenemos que ver si es que tenemos el verbo to
Auxiliar.
be o algún auxiliar. En este caso tenemos un auxiliar. ¿Cuál es el auxiliar?
El do, ¿cómo es el did,
¿Qué
teacher?
auxiliar tenemos aquí? Yes,
Did.
exactly, el did. Ok, y como ya tenemos negativo el neither, ya no va el didn't. Entonces sería neither did, ¿no es cierto? Porque está en pasado. Neither did. Y el último que ponemos.
Go,
Para
teacher.
decir yo tampoco. ¿Me repites, please?
Go, teacher.
Okay, no, in this case we are not going to see this part. Solo nos vamos a enfocar en esta partecita, en la persona y si tenemos el auxiliar en este caso. Y lo que está negativo, I didn't sería, ¿no es cierto? Entonces, como está negativo, ya tenemos el neither, el did y el último que eso, el I. Exactly. Neither did I, porque estamos hablando de nosotros. Para decir yo tampoco. Yo tampoco decimos neither did I in this case. Okay, so Erika, the same please. Can you help me with another number please to make sure that you understand?
7, teacher.
Okay, let's see number 7. I hate maths. Maths could be. Odio las matemáticas. ¿Cómo diríamos? Yo también.
Eh, mm,
Primerito, tenemos que ver si es negativa o positiva la oración. ¿Está positiva o negativa?
es negativa, yo odio las matemáticas. No, es, perdón,
Sí,
positiva.
el significado es negativo, ¿no es cierto?
Ah,
Pero en sí la
es
estructura no
positiva.
tenemos ninguna exacta, es positiva, es una
Bueno,
oración positiva. Entonces, ¿qué expresión usamos? ¿El so o el neither?
el so,
Ok, después, ¿tenemos algún verbo to be o algún modal?
no.
Entonces, ¿qué nos hace falta para responder si no tenemos ni el verbo to be ni un modal?
So I, teacher.
Ok, so I falta una palabrita en la mitad del so y el I.
Un auxiliar. Mira en qué tiempo está el verbo hate. ¿Cuál era el auxiliar que ocupábamos en el presente?
En el presente es el is, teacher. Is are.
Ese sí es que es del verbo to be, pero aquí no tenemos ningún verbo to be. Cuando hablábamos de todos los otros verbos que no eran el verbo to be, utilizábamos un auxiliar que empieza con D.
El do.
El do.
Exacto.
Exacto.
Yes. It's the same, or also maybe if you want to do this sentence, you want to turn this sentence into negative, we need to use the auxiliary. Por ejemplo, sería I don't hate math. Entonces necesitamos siempre utilizar el auxiliar. Y aquí nos quedaría para decir yo también, sería so do I. En cada oración que no encuentren ningún verbo to be o tampoco ningún verbo modal y esté así, por ejemplo, simple como esta que dice I hate maths, tenemos que aumentarle el auxiliar. Y en este caso siempre vamos a utilizar el do porque igual siempre vamos a utilizar el I. ¿Ok? So do I. Para decir yo también o yo tampoco en este caso. Okay, Erika, thank you. Now let's see the next one, please. Eli and Drango, please. Can you help me with a number?
Number 8, teacher.
Okay, let's see number 8. I am not going on holidays this year. ¿Cómo diríamos yo tampoco?
Neither am I.
Yes, exactly. Neither am I. Yes, because it's a negative sentence and we have the verb to be am, so we need to respond with the same verb to be. Okay, thank you, Ellie. Now let's see next one,
Laurita,
please.
Laurita.
Okay, Laura, please, can you help me with a number? Laura, please, are you there? I guess she's not in class. Okay, so maybe Javi Córdoba, please, can you help me with a number?
Eso me ayuda a ponerles asistencia de paso.
Tampoco está el Javi. Okay. I guess Giovanna hasn't participated yet. Giovanna, please, can you help me with a number?
7, teacher.
Okay, let's see, the lucky number. In this case, you win 20 points. Can you help me with another number, please? Because it was just a power up of the game.
Okay, 9.
Which one? 9. Okay, another one. Please, one last number, please. Uno más.
12.
Okay, let's see, number 12. This case, I will take an Uber. ¿Cómo diríamos? Yo también. Dice, yo voy a tomar un Uber. ¿Cómo decimos yo también?
Podría ser so do I.
Ok, in this case, el so estaría bien, pero aquí tenemos el will, mira. I already explained you that when we have this will or have or can or another modal verb, we need to respond with the same one. Entonces tenemos que responder con este mismo. Entonces,
So
¿cómo nos
will.
quedaría? So
So
will.
I.
Exacto. So will I. That's the correct answer. So will I. Okay, guys. Now that I see that most of you already understood this part, we're going to pass to an activity for practice, for you to practice. In this case, it's a Padlet activity in which I'm going to explain you. Let me share again the screen and I'm going to explain you about this. So let me send you the link. I'm going to send you the link to the meeting chat. Let me see, because the chat is kind of weird, it doesn't open. I'm going to send it here to the meeting chat and also to the WhatsApp group. There you have the link and you have to enter in this part and you will have to write just 3 sentences. Okay, 3 sentences. For example, the first one you need to write a base sentence. In this case, we have I went to the cinema last Friday. Yo fui al cine el viernes pasado. Y aquí podemos responder, bueno, aquí hay una frase para responder o solo podemos poner, responder yo también o yo tampoco. Tienen que escribir la oración y la respuesta para decir yo también y yo tampoco. En este caso, so did I, yo también. Solo 3 oraciones, chicos. 3 oraciones rapiditas para que practiquen. Ok, Alex is already there. Recuerden, tienen que escribir la oración base a la que van a responder. Cualquier oración puede ser. And for this activity, you will have 10 minutes, guys. Just 10 minutes because you have to write just 3 sentences. It's something easy for you because I see that you already understood and participated in the previous activity. Okay, Alex, remember that when we write something with third person, we need to add something, 1 letter or 2 letters to the next verb. Okay, tenemos que utilizar, ¿qué nos faltaría en el verbo play? Exacto, he plays. Yes, exactly. He plays soccer with his brother in the street.
Exactly, so do I.
Yes, exactly, because we didn't have any verb to be in the sentence. Okay, come on, guys. Try to enter because I just see 3 persons there, 3 people. That's Alex, that is doing the second one.
Yeah.
Lilian also,
With the people who participate in this Padlet, that's going to have the attendance of the hour. Obviously, the ones who are not in the Padlet, they won't get the attendance of this hour. Así me doy cuenta de quiénes están y quiénes no están para quitarles las horas de asistencia.
Okay, guys. It's a TED Talk video in which we're going to see some interesting details about the origin of some superstitions that I told you before. And also you can get some inspiration from this TED Talk maybe to perform your project because you had to do a video like this. But in this case, it's like there's more visual material rather than the person talking in the auditorium. So let's see this video. Let's watch it.
Are you afraid of black cats? Would you open an umbrella indoors? And how do you feel about the number 13? Whether or not you believe in them, you're probably familiar with a few of these superstitions. So how did it happen that people all over the world knock on wood or avoid stepping on sidewalk cracks? Well, although they have no basis in science, many of these weirdly specific beliefs and practices do have equally weird and specific origins. Because they involve supernatural causes, it's no surprise that many superstitions are based in religion. For example, the number 13 was associated with the biblical Last Supper, where Jesus Christ dined with his 12 disciples just before being arrested and crucified. The resulting idea that having 13 people at a table was bad luck eventually expanded into 13 being an unlucky number in general. Now, this fear of the number 13, called triskaidekaphobia, is so common that many buildings around the world skip the 13th floor, with the numbers going straight from 12 to 14. Of course, many people consider the story of the Last Supper to be true, but other superstitions come from religious traditions that few people believe in or even remember. Knocking on wood is thought to come from the folklore of the ancient Indo-Europeans, or possibly people who predated them, who believed that trees were home to various spirits. Touching a tree would invoke the protection or blessing of the spirit within. And somehow, this tradition survived long after belief in these spirits had faded away. Many superstitions common today in countries from Russia to Ireland are thought to be remnants of the pagan religions that Christianity replaced. But not all superstitions are religious. Some are just based on unfortunate coincidences and associations. For example, many Italians fear the number 17 because the Roman numeral XVII can be rearranged to form the word vixi, meaning my life had ended. Similarly, the word for the number 4 sounds almost identical to the word for death in Cantonese, as well as languages like Japanese and Korean that have borrowed Chinese numerals. And since the number 1 also sounds like the word for must, the number 14 sounds like the phrase must die. That's a lot of numbers for elevators in international hotels to avoid. And believe it or not, some superstitions actually make sense. Or at least they did until we forgot their original purpose. For example, theater scenery used to consist of large painted backdrops, raised and lowered by stagehands who would whistle to signal each other. Absent-minded whistles from other people could cause an accident, but the taboo against whistling backstage still exists today, long after the stagehands started using radio headsets. Along the same lines, lighting 3 cigarettes from the same match really could cause bad luck if you were a soldier in a foxhole, where keeping a match lit too long could draw attention from an enemy sniper. Most smokers no longer have to worry about snipers, but the superstition lives on. So why do people cling to these bits of forgotten religions, coincidences, and outdated advice? Aren't they being totally irrational? Well, yes, but for many people, superstitions are based more on cultural habit than conscious belief. After all, no one is born knowing to avoid walking under ladders or whistling indoors. But if you grow up being told by your family to avoid these things, chances are they'll make you uncomfortable even after you logically understand that nothing bad will happen. And since doing something like knocking on wood doesn't require much effort, following the superstition is often easier than consciously resisting it. Besides, superstitions often do seem to work. Maybe you remember hitting a home run while wearing your lucky socks. This is just our psychological bias at work. You're far less likely to remember all the times you struck out while wearing the same socks. But believing that they work could actually make you play better by giving you the illusion of having greater control over events. So in situations where that confidence can make a difference, like sports, those crazy superstitions might not be so crazy after all.
Okay, guys, so that was something really curious and interesting about this topic of superstitions, because then we can link the origin of some superstitions that are most common all over the world, and maybe that's the reason why we can. Okay, it depends on us to believe on these religions, but maybe we can become um, from a family backgrounds, maybe they can also teach us to believe in something, or influence us to believe in something else of this kind of superstition. So maybe if you have any opinion about the video, guys, what do you think? Or also we saw that also that one common superstition that is knocking wood, maybe to have a good look, or
To avoid
that's
bad luck,
yes,
because you
to
say toco
avoid bad luck.
madera, ¿no?
Sí, toco madera.
Toco madera para no, que no les dé mala suerte en realidad, yes.
Yes.
That's something, I didn't know that it was because of the gods who lived in the woods, but that makes sense now.
Yes, so that's the reason why maybe we can relate some facts, some cultural facts, maybe with these superstitions.
Telling you, today it's going to be our last content class. Sí, esta va a ser la última clase de contenido del libro. Es decir, que las unidades C y D, como les dije al inicio, van a ser reforzadas con su trabajo en la plataforma de Cambridge. El último tema, básicamente, que comprende la unidad 6D, it's about prepositions of time. Cuando ustedes escuchan la palabra preposition, is because these words are going to come before something. ¿Sí? Es decir, que todas estas palabritas que tienen o que las conocemos como preposiciones es porque están antes de algo. Sí, en este caso estamos hablando of time. Sí, es decir, que van a ir antes del tiempo. Cuando hablamos de tiempo podemos hablar de meses, años, una fecha, horas, ¿sí? Es decir, que estas palabritas van a ser utilizadas antes de expresiones de tiempo. For example, here we have, we stayed in a student hostel during the conference. ¿Sí? Estamos hablando antes de un tiempo, antes de que ocurra algo en este caso. Sí, we stayed at a student hostel during the conference. Nos hospedamos en un hostal de estudiantes durante la conferencia. Sí, nos referimos a algo que sucedió en un tiempo en específico, que es la conferencia en este caso. This is easier to see. En este se va a ver mucho más evidente el uso antes de la hora. I'm just going to bed for 2 hours or so. ¿Sí? Voy a la cama, me voy a acostar en la cama por 2 horas más o menos, ¿no? Sí, por 2 horas. Es decir, que el for va antes del tiempo, en este caso las horas. The same you have over here. Look at this. He left the house. Él salió de la casa over an hour ago. ¿Sí? Hace una hora. Esta palabrita ago, que también es considerada una preposición de tiempo, es la única que siempre, 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 como excepción, va a ir al final de la oración. ¿Sí? Es muy parecida a yet, que la utilizamos al final de la oración. And we have some others. For example, this one. He had promised to be back by 5 o'clock. Él prometió llegar a las 5 de la tarde. ¿Sí? Entonces tenemos la preposición by justo antes de las 5 de la tarde. Okay, guys? But now, what's important and what do I need you to focus on is that in lesson 6D, en la lección 6D, ustedes se van a enfocar en básicamente en tres preposiciones de tiempo. These prepositions of time are the following ones. There you are. Ustedes pueden encontrar en la página 61 el uso de un par de preposiciones de tiempo. En este caso tenemos before, we have soon after, and we have after. Okay, we have these prepositions of time. Tenemos tres preposiciones de tiempo. Antes, un poco después, ¿sí? Justo un poco después y después. Aquí lo que nos explica es básicamente que estas preposiciones de tiempo pueden encontrarse, miren, ya sea con past perfect tense, ¿sí? Con un pasado perfecto, como es este caso. She had never ridden a bicycle, ¿sí? Aquí ustedes pueden ver que estamos utilizando un past perfect. Miren, tenemos el auxiliar had y el verbo en pasado participio. O también pueden ser utilizados también en el tiempo, en un tiempo pasado continuo, o también pueden utilizarse cuando estamos hablando con un verbo con ing. ¿A qué me refiero? Look at this. Before starting or before she started. También podrían ser utilizadas, cuando utilizamos el pasado simple. Es decir, cualquier tipo de pasado podemos utilizar esta palabra before, antes, ¿no? Cuando nos referimos al pasado. En cualquiera de las situaciones, ya puede ser pasado simple, simple past, like here, before she started college. Let me change color, maybe. Before she started college, she had never ridden a bicycle. Or before starting college, she had never ridden a bicycle. Lo mismo sucede con esta preposición de tiempo soon after. ¿Sí? Aquí tenemos la preposición de tiempo acompañado del verbo con ing. Soon after arriving on campus, ¿sí? Justo después de que llegaron al campus, she met a guy, conoció al chico. Este soon after arriving también puede ser utilizado si hablamos del pasado, ¿no? Por ejemplo, soon after she arrived, justo después de que llegara, de que llegó. Estamos hablando del pasado. De todas maneras, a lo que se enfoca esta lección es básicamente al uso de las preposiciones de tiempo, ¿sí? En tiempos, sobre todo pasados, cuando ustedes están describiendo algo que sucedió en un momento del tiempo. Okay, so as I told you before, you're going to reinforce this knowledge by performing your content in online workbook that would be of the whole unit number 6. Sí, tendríamos que completar toda la unidad 6, ya sea de contenido y del online workbook, para que ustedes puedan ir practicando esta última parte. As I told you, we try to push or to skip a little bit of these last 2 lessons because I need you to practice or get ready for the proficiency test. ¿Sí? Básicamente se les presionó un poquito para que podamos alcanzar a ver la estructura del examen de suficiencia, que ya vamos a empezar la siguiente semana a practicar un poco de cómo va a ser o de qué se trata el examen de suficiencia. ¿Sí? Y como ya vamos avanzando, ya nos queda poco tiempo, ustedes tienen un trabajo esta semana. El último trabajo que tuvieron fue el Written Forum, right? Y ahora nos toca el video. So, let me share with you guys. Let me share with you the video. How is it going to be? What are you going to do? This week, as you were seeing, we were discussing a little bit about superstitions, right? Strange events, coincidence, and superstitions. So, what is going to be your homework for this week? Ustedes saben que tenemos un par de trabajitos cada semana, ¿no? Esta semana, pues, su trabajo está enfocado al video. The video is going to be about strange events, coincidences, and superstitions. As you know, you will have to tape yourself in a Flipgrid video for maximum 2 minutes, ¿sí? 2 minutos máximo, where you're going to tell me 5 superstitions you believe in. ¿Sí? Me van a hablar de 5 supersticiones en las que ustedes creen. ¿Sí? Maybe don't walk under a ladder, or I don't know, things like the ones we saw today. Sí, más o menos como las supersticiones que vimos hoy en día. Tal vez que ustedes no abren un paraguas dentro de la casa, que mandan las cadenas de mails a todas las personas que les dicen, porque si no tienen 10 años de mala suerte.